We also want to thank you if you are joining us now on YouTube for the presentation of this contest, as we see some children out on the ice as the ALS Awareness Evening here in late October at Yost. Looks like a whole family is out there to do what I believe is going to be the puck drop, or maybe they're just going to take a photo.
I believe he's a former Michigan player.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to do the ceremonial puck drop, but right now they're just having their photo taken. Now Michigan and St. Lawrence both having their captains skate over there. It's going to be, I think, 3 children with pucks. Long photo session. And now they track them down. So, with that, 20 minutes put up on the board, and we'll get just about ready to get this game underway. Michael Laidley and Ciccone were the ones doing that puck drop, so Wolf and Ciccone seem like trading off on the true captain duties as the rest of the Michigan team skates down there and does some handshakes.
Yeah, it's an emotional night. Former Wolverine Scott Motzka suffering from the disease, and the hockey team does do a great job promoting awareness of that disease. Hopefully someday in the near future there can be a cure. But right now the team has done a great job rallying around him, and as I mentioned, just really trying to raise awareness for this disease.
So both teams now getting ready just about for game time. The children of Yost getting almost all filled in at this point. Levine takes his net, and the players are gathered around him getting ready for just, I guess, a pregame talk. Mel Pearson and the coaching staff for the Wolverines have now taken their spot behind the benches. And now both teams have broken their huddles, taking their spots on the bench except for the starters. And we are just about underway. It'll be the top line for Michigan out there against, looks like the second line for St. Lawrence. Keenan Southers, Ryan Garvey. Southers is the center on that line. Also trying to see what the defense pairing is. Looks like it'll be their top pairing, Bo Hansen and Philip Alfberg.
Michigan going with their top lines on both sides as well.
Trying to set the tone early on. It's going to be Norris against Southers in the faceoff dot, and the puck is dropped, and this one is underway. The draw one back by the Saints as it gets kind of tipped up in the air in the neutral zone. Hughes takes it. Now he skates to his left. Does a quick 360, turns it around and passes it. Ciccone, quick tap up to Lockwood. Lockwood goes right around Garvey and sends it on down, and now a quick bounce off the boards, and putting the glove down was Arthur Bray, who is going to be St. Lawrence's netminder tonight.
And Bray really did not expect the puck to come off the boards the way it did. He missed it with his stick, and it almost caught underneath his skate. Luckily, he had the awareness to fall on it, but otherwise that could have been dangerous right off the bat.
So 19:41 remaining in period number 1. Norris wins the draw back to Hughes. In the offensive end for Michigan, takes a quick shot. It's deflected off some St. Lawrence bodies. Caden Pickering, Michael Laidley, those getting in the lane of the shot. As it gets filtered back into the Michigan end, Hughes takes it and quickly does his skating, always so smooth and so quick, as a wayward stick is now dropped out onto the ice. Not sure whose it was, and the puck goes up and out of play. Face-off will come just outside the St. Lawrence end.
Yeah, and Quinn looks more and more comfortable each week. Didn't quite look like himself, I think, to start the season, but I think he's starting to get his legs back underneath him.
Michigan puts that fourth line out there, centered by freshman Garrett Van Wy. Dakota Raby helps him out in winning the draw as Michigan puts their second defensive pairing out, Boca and Luce. Goes down behind Bray, and he just taps it behind himself to no one on his team. So Michigan's got an opportunity to press here in the offensive end as it gets picked up by Michigan. Olmstead sends it across looking for Griffin Luce, and now he'll bounce it off the boards for Raby, who's down behind. And looks like some pushing and shoving going on. We might have a penalty upcoming. We'll see what the whistle is. Both teams waiting. It's going to be an offensive zone draw. Looks like St. Lawrence is having a man sent to the box. It appears to be number 2, one of their assistant captains, Dylan Wolf, with 2 O's. Wolf.
Yeah, Wolf, I mean, getting into a real shoving match with Olmstead in front of the net, and Michigan has an early opportunity here on the power play where they've been pretty good this season.
Yep, 25% in the regulation games entering this one. And it's going to be Becker who got pushed into the faceoff dot for Pastuov. He takes it, sort of wins it, but St. Lawrence swarms and makes sure Michigan can't do anything with it. They quickly clear it down to Levine. And now Michigan picks it on up into the neutral zone and on the offensive attack. Pastuov in the second power play unit. They try to get it to the older Pastuov in the middle, but St. Lawrence quickly there to clear it on down. Michigan grabs the puck, brings it on up. Jimmy Lambert sends it over for the younger Pastuov along the boards as it gets filtered across. Boca holds it and now sends it across. There's a shot right out in front. The puck is loose. They battle for it and can't see where it is. Now it's under a bunch of bodies. They still haven't blown the whistle, and now they're going to.
And Lambert and Becker right there in front of the net, but I just don't think they saw the puck in time. There was an opening, but just a little bit too slow before bodies fly, bodies pile in front of the net, and it'll be a face-off still on the power play, 1 minute and 6 seconds.
Minute 6 to go on the power play. It was interesting. Yeah, you could see the puck was exposed because the referees let them jam away for a long while. It was a little questionable why that was going on, but Slaker helps to win the draw. Shot, big ricochet in front. Puck is loose. It's rattled for it, and they score! Jake Slaker, among other bodies. One man down in front is hurt. Norris it is, laying on his chest. Little shaken up as Michigan celebrates their first goal, but Slaker will be the one to get credit, a power play goal.
Yeah, Slaker was the one that eventually punches it in, but Josh Norris took a hit going down, but he's the one that really tapped it into that position for Slaker to succeed.
Norris won the draw. Slaker helped him get it back to the point. It was a shot and a ricochet. Norris was down front, got elbowed hard from behind, and was laying on his chest as Slaker was able to grab that ricochet. It was laying there loose, and he just sort of chimney sweeped it right in. And Michigan takes the early 1-0 lead, something they were unable to do against Vermont. But now we'll see how the defense at even strength is able to protect this lead as the faceoff goes down into the Michigan end. Wolverines hold it down there, trying to dig it out. Luke Morgan in this third line is now out there for Michigan. Skating with a lot of quickness, Morgan, Warren, and Moyle. Warren, a senior, one of the few seniors on this team, a real veteran, as opposed to Morgan, a redshirt sophomore, who had to sit out a year ago after transferring from Lake Superior State. We've got an icing now against the Saints, so it will be an offensive zone faceoff for Michigan.
Yeah, and Michigan capitalizing on the power play, which they have been pretty solid at all season long, but more importantly, getting out to that fast start. You know, but in some of the games where they have been able to strike quickly, score goals, it's been their defense a lot of times right away that gives it right back up, and they found themselves in a lot of tight games because of that. You would like to see them kind of hold on to this lead and build on it early on.
So the fourth line out there for Michigan as they are forcing St. Lawrence to stay out there. And the draw was won by Michigan, but it quickly just pops right in front of Bray, and so he puts his glove on it. They'll do the face-off once again, but St. Lawrence will now be allowed to change. Looks like they're going to insert. Trying to tell. Looks like their bottom line is going to be out there as Michigan makes a change as well. Michigan puts their second line out against the fourth line. Alex Gilmore is going to take the draw for St. Lawrence against Nick Pastuov. Pastuov, with 3 goals on the season, is 1 away from tying his season total from a year ago. Off to a hot start, and here's his brother Michael as he goes down by the net. Jack Becker picks up the ricochet, sends it out to the point. Hughes across to Ciccone. Cicone's shot through traffic, bouncing around. Gilmore is able to clear it out for the Saints. Hughes turning on a dime is in some trouble, and then St. Lawrence backs off the potential forecheck. But now a little sloppy giveaway, and St. Lawrence is able to hold it in. Passing along those boards, Hughes gets pinned up by Gilmore and battled around as Gleekle helps to hold it in before Michigan can finally clear it on out. Still unable to get a full change. Becker applies a solid check there as it goes up into the neutral zone along the boards right in front of the benches. And St. Lawrence will just clear, but now a giveaway by Ciccone right out in front. And that was a wayward pass by St. Lawrence. No one there to tap it on in. The bad giveaway from Ciccone allows the Saints to continue to battle down in the Michigan end. Nick Pasturoff trying to help get it out. Ciccone pinned up against the boards, can't quite do it. And then Michael Pasturoff finally does it, but it's going to be an icing.
Michigan really doing a nice job getting early opportunities. So 6 shots within the first 4 minutes of this game. And as you mentioned, the line substitution at the last faceoff, that was intended to create more. And, you know, this is kind of the pace at which Michigan should feel comfortable playing right now.
So Nick Pasturoff to take this draw in his own end as they put the third line out there. David Janikowski actually won it, but won it too aggressively. It goes all the way back down into his own end. But St. Lawrence quick to try and get back on the attack. Boca's got it down behind, but his pass too far for Lockwood, and St. Lawrence is able to keep it in. Slaker trying to give some help for Michigan, and now Boca is able to finally get it out. He's going to pass up to his attackers. Lockwood brings it down the right wing. He's got Norris in the middle, and he takes the shot. Quick glove save by Bray, and will get a face-off.
Once again, Michigan, though, adding a shot to their total 7 shots now, and another offensive zone face-off, so more opportunities to attack and put pressure on the goalie, Arthur Bray. Michigan really doing a nice job possessing the puck tonight and not just being choppy with it, taking good threatening shots.
So the face-off taken and very quickly out into the neutral zone as we approach the 15 minutes to play in the first period. Michigan out shooting St. Lawrence 6-0 here in the early going. It's been an aggressive start for the Wolverines, and they lead this contest 1-0 off the power play goal from Slaker. Lockwood's got it now as he brings it into the neutral zone. He's got some attackers trying to find Slaker, wasn't able to get it out of the air. Now the puck comes free. Lockwood's got it. He finds Boca in the middle, who cuts to the left side, waits with it, had loose if he wanted him, now sends it down low. Norris was not ready for that pass, not sure. Looked a little aggrieved at a St. Lawrence player right next to him. Now holding it was Cameron White. A big check attempted to be applied by Norris as it goes all the way back down. Michigan and the Saints both doing some changes as Luce holds it behind his own net, being watched there by Gilmore. And now Michigan brings it on up. Van Wy down the right wing boards, tries to cut to the middle. Puck goes right through the crease. An opportunity there. Olmstead, Van Wy both go in hard after it. Raby, and now they all sort of battle. Gilmore trying to get it out, but he can't. Luke Markin doing a good job holding the point and pinching. Van Wy's got it. Raby tries to send it to the middle. Can't quite do it. Gilmore had it and lost it. Just held right along that blue line. Neither team able to get fluid possession of it. And now trying to finally bring it on was Cusinado. Couldn't quite do it. And just a brutal battle right in front of the Saints blue line has killed off the last about minute of action. Both teams going hard after it. And now Jack Summers, a freshman, had it and then gives it away. Now St. Lawrence in on sides down the wing. An attempted play there by Summers to stifle the rush is unsuccessful. So St. Lawrence finally has one of their first extended offensive opportunities. Cameron White, the defenseman along the boards, is able to filter it on down to Garvey, who sends it back to White. Continues to battle. Michigan really physical so far in this one, and now Raby takes it away. Luke Morgan helping to bring it on out. They get it right back to Raby. He almost decapitates the referee in his attempt to clear it on down. Now a physical battle behind the Saints net. Michigan forechecking aggressively and locking down their own net with gusto. Hughes has got it behind his own net, leaves it behind. And now it's Nick Pasturoff as the second line has come on out for Michigan. He goes flying down the ice into the offensive zone, going quickly, trying to wrap it around. Oh, and a quick chance. Michael Pasturoff was the one trying to follow it up. Siccone's now got it. swings it back to Hughes. Hughes is going to try to go give and go to himself, but a nice play there by Risto, making sure that was not going to happen. And now goes out of play. Looks like it went off the St. Lawrence stick, so the faceoff will stay in the Michigan end. 12:50, or in the St. Lawrence end. 12:59 remaining in this one. Wolverines 1, Saints nothing.
Josh Norris has taken some big hits in this game already, and I think he's getting really frustrated because you mentioned a couple minutes ago he did not appear ready for a puck. That was because he had slid right into the boards, got up, and he was just looking to hit people off of that shove. And he had 2 big checks himself, but he's definitely getting frustrated out there. That's a guy that does have a short temper, so it's worth monitoring for the coaches. But Will Lockwood also almost coast to coast. Well, impressive skating.
Last year we saw a few times where Michigan was, or Norris was a little over aggressive for the Wolverines, trying to go out there and hit people. He's athletic and he's big. Just needs to tone it down a bit and use his skill, because he's playing with some fast and talented players.
Right, and I mean, the thing that I've just said consistently is that he sometimes does let his emotions get the best of him, and I think that's when he kind of becomes ineffective, when he starts to kind of play for his mind rather than for his skill.
Slaker was the one trying to take that face-off. He gets kicked out, so Norris, the natural centerman, will be the one to take it for Michigan in their offensive end. Matched up against David Jankowski, and Michigan is able to hold it in for a split second. A bad giveaway by the Saints as in their attempt to clear. Hughes gets knocked off his mark by Jankowski, but he's still got it along the boards, getting pinched. Saints still trying to clear, just unable to do so as Michigan is swarming there for a second. Risto going on down with it. Puck pops along the boards. Norris for a split second, then picked up by Bo Hansen, the first-line defenseman, sends a long shot just from outside the blue line all the way in on net, goes into the glove easily by Levine. He'll freeze it. They're going to count that as St. Lawrence's first shot of the game. Was not threatening in any way. About 8 minutes into this one, you have to like the defensive pace so far for Michigan.
Right, Michigan doing a nice job really making St. Lawrence work on defense instead. This is probably the first game of the season they've had really, really solid puck possession for a good amount of time.
Yeah, St. Lawrence hasn't had a lot of opportunities. Michigan limiting their chances by simply dominating possession so far. Shots now 7-1 in favor of the Wolverines, 1-for-1 on the power play. And the draw there is won by Garrett Van Wy. Cycled around, picked up by Luce, trying to get it out. Wasn't quite able to connect with the man he was looking for, and a quick shot is blocked by Van Wy. Got his body in the way, swarming that chance from Ederer. And now it goes over on the boards. Boca passes it up, and now he's going to take it himself. Looked like he was trying to connect. Warren falling down does a good job to make sure the puck goes into the offensive end, but St. Lawrence quickly scoops it on up and trying to bring it out. Here they come flying. Jake Stevens chips it on down as the Saints try to get a wholesale change. Warren comes along the right wing side. Contested there by Dylan Wolf, but the Saints continue to do good work in the defensive end these last few minutes and stifling chances. A hard check applied by Brendan Warren on Alex Gilmore. As Michigan changes, they finally get Warren off the ice, and now the second line back out there, Pashtuov brothers and Becker. Michael Pashtuov tries to get it to his line mates, unable to do so. St. Lawrence continuing to hold it in, but then taken away smartly by Summers. Becker's got it. He just backhand dishes it off the boards, going on deep. Ooh, Michael Pashtuov fell down hard, but an opportunity is shot. Puck is loose in front of the net. A great opportunity by Summers, a one-time pass, well set up there, but just unable to convert as Pashtuov had gone down hard behind the net. No penalties called, and play continues as the Saints try to get it out. Had trouble getting past the referee there, who waves his arms and says continue to play on as we approach the halfway mark of this first period. Michigan continues to lead St. Lawrence 1-0. Puck goes along the boards on up and now picked up by Dakota Raby. He's one-on-one into the offensive end, but a nice, strong defensive play there from Bo Hansen. But Raby's effort allows his line mates to catch on up, and Michigan continues to hold it in the offensive end. Olmstead threw it for Van Wy, didn't quite find him, but instead found Raby in the corner. Van Wy, Olmstead all right there. Michigan continuing to play hard and aggressive on the forecheck. Saints do get it on out. but only as far as just past the blue line. And now skating on in, Hughes uncontested, but a great little poke check there by Philip Elfberg to sneak his stick in there and pop this puck up. And now an opportunity for an odd man rush. The Saints on in, a quick shot, saved by Levine. Puck is loose, rebound, 2 chances, 3 there. And now another opportunity, a shot, and a nice save by Levine. He'll hold on. St. Lawrence with their first opportunity of the night, and they pour 3 shots in quickly.
Yeah, 3 really good shots at that. And Levine doing a nice job just walling up. Very, very strong goaltending at a time where if Michigan gives up a goal, equalizing the game, that would just be demoralizing because of how well they have really played up to this point.
Shots now 8-4 in favor of the Wolverines as we hit our second full stoppage of this first period. 9:53 remaining in period number 1.
Once again, we would also like to thank you for listening to WCBN-FM Ann Arbor coverage of Michigan hockey.
Yep, we'll have a lot more games here to come. We've done all the home ones so far. But once we get into Big Ten play, we will continue. We'll see if we can't get the GLI, and we were unable to do that last year. We'll see how that goes, and potentially the dual and the D. Those were opportunities for us last year that we just didn't have time for, but trying to expand our coverage.
After our successful Frozen Four venture last year.
Michigan looking to build on the success of a year ago where they finished the year on a tear. Haven't quite gotten off to the right start, but 2 quick wins over St. Lawrence this weekend will put things back on the right foot as they have Lake Superior State next weekend and then Notre Dame right into conference play, and things will get very quick, very real, very fast for the Wolverines. So face off in the defensive end for Michigan, and Norris wins it. Be imperative for Michigan to get it out, but they can't do so early on. Lockwood unable to quite get it out, and now Luce has to get in there and try to clear. He is unable to do so. Pinned up against the boards. Jankowski, McGee, and McIntyre all down there. The forwards for St. Lawrence, and Michigan does finally just get it across the blue line, but St. Lawrence quickly to it and quickly just firing it back in. Luce has got it, and he lost it. That's a bad giveaway, but Norris, right there to get in the passing lanes, and a quick shot high and rising. Levine didn't see it. It goes over his head. This is really the first extended time for St. Lawrence of really being on an aggressive forecheck. Luce trying to get it to Slaker, still having trouble getting it out. Michigan just unable to connect properly. Luce over to Boca, and Boca whiffs on his clear attempt. Finally, Norris finds Slaker in the middle. He gets pushed down hard by Cameron White. Norris and White continuing to jostle there. And now the puck is picked up by Lockwood. He's got Norris to his left as they go into the offensive end. That one goes right through the crease. Quick opportunity. Luke Martin down along the boards. He just swings it around. Dylan Wolf will pick it up. And now that one is taken away. Nice aggressive forecheck, and a shot goes off just the pad there. And Warren it was. He fires it across the offensive zone, tipped up into the air, and then out of play, grabbed down by a Children of Yost member.
I think it might have hit one of the girls in the head.
Yeah, that was a little dangerous. That was a terrific read by Brendan Warren. He read the passing lane, took a quick shot, picked it up, and then was trying to get a centering pass, or even across the side, was looking for Summers, and then off a St. Lawrence stick out of play. Face-off still in the offensive end. Luke Morgan wins it. Warren finally is able to find Summers, who sends it dangerously past the back door. Down behind, Morgan over to Warren. Warren puts it off the boards for Martin. Martin takes a shot. Whoa! Morgan out in front, just unable to get his stick on it for the redirection. Morgan still down there jostling with a couple of Saints. Continued to battle for Jake Stevens down there along with Warren and Morgan, all kind of battling. Now it's a 4-man dog pile along the left side corner, trying to dig it free, and now it finally comes out into the center where the Saints have it. They go right across center ice and then get the clear. Both teams will try and change here. Summers, the freshman, picks it up for Michigan on the defense. 7:39, and he does a nice crisp pass over to Pastuov, who takes a shot. St. Lawrence got a stick in there. Bo Hansen deflected it up into the netting, so the faceoff will stay in the Michigan offensive end.
think that girl that got hit in the head by the puck just got taken out. I think she actually might have been bleeding.
Yikes.
Just hit her square in the head, so unfortunate circumstance there, but I've always been an advocate for higher glass.
Yeah, there's a case for it. Michigan wins the draw. Saccone across to Hughes. Hughes does that ever so careful 360 spin, and he takes a shot blocked right off a body, and then Saccone had to get quickly to it as there was an opportunity for an odd man rush. The one off of Keenan Souther's body, but Michigan quickly gets it back in the offensive end in the corner. Jimmy Lambert, who's playing as the 13th forward tonight, is now out there with Jack Becker and company, and out they come the other way to the Saints. Ryan Garvey leads the rush, but back quickly to it is Saccone. Hughes watching him. Saccone plays it over to Hughes, who holds it and waits behind his own net. Watching behind his netminder, Hayden Levine, and now Hughes skates on up with it. He finds Lambert in the middle. Lambert puts it off the left boards. Defensemen are going to get a change. Actually, Michigan's going to get a full change. Olmsted's the first one out there as he leads the forecheck. Cameron White across the blue line up to mid-ice and then sends it all the way back down. Levine plays it with a stick over to Luce. And Luce is going to skate around the net and then send it all the way back down where Jankowski picks it up. Not a whole lot of great opportunities here in the last few minutes for either team. Competitive play as that one goes up into the Michigan bench. Face-off, I believe, will come to center ice. 6:14 remaining in period number 1.
Yeah, and I mean, ever since St. Lawrence got those 3 shots on goal, they immediately have really matched the intensity that Michigan started this game with. So it's been much more competitive ever since that initial pressure from the Saints.
Norris wins the draw, as it was indeed right on the big block M in the face-off dot. Boca tried to apply a center ice check to Jankowski. Now McGean's got an opportunity, but he whiffs. Had a chance to shoot through traffic. The Saints have got it right out in front, and a shot goes high and over top of Levine. White holding the point, sends it on down for the Saints. They battle in front. Oh, the puck comes free, and Levine, I believe, got it in his glove. He did. Wow, that was a great opportunity for the Saints. Point-blank chance, but Levine stonewalls.
And the Saints really in the second half of this first period giving themselves chances to tie this game, but Hayden Levine has been the real reason why their goals are still at none. Really robbery of a save right there.
And it looked like Risto was the one with the chance, and a good save there by Levine. Michigan wins the draw quickly and just rims it along the boards. Luke Martin and Summers down there. They battle a couple Saints trying to get it out. Luke Martin, the junior, tasked as the veteran alongside the freshman Summers. Moyle over to the middle looking for his centerman Morgan, who skates quickly around. Oh, and a centering pass by Morgan, unable to connect with the Wolverine. As Summers holds it in now his own defensive end. Warren redirects it wide of the net, and having to put his trapper down on it was Bray, and that'll force a face-off to his side. 5:04 remaining in period 1. Our shots 9-5 in favor of Michigan.
Yeah, and with 5:04 left on this face-off, apparently the Pastuhov and Becker line will not be on the ice coming off of the shift, so it'll be up to the freshmen now to make themselves an opportunity.
Van Wy sort of won the draw, but it quickly emerged into just a battle, and digging it out with Wolverines in the neutral zone once it got filtered on down. Some quick stick handling there. Silky by Dakota Raby as he sends it for Van Wy, and it goes into the corner right behind the St. Lawrence net. Olmsted leaves it for Raby. Raby turns around with it, gives it off to Hughes, who does that quick spin move. And Hughes will go left to right. Now he'll go back to the other side. That one bounces up into the air, redirecting over the top of the net. Hughes unable to keep it in as St. Lawrence finally does clear back down. 4:20 remaining. Saccone was looking for a long stretch pass, and he fanned on it. Instead finds Hughes in the middle, and look at that pass. Just off the tape of Pastuhov, but he found it perfectly. Nick Pastuhov back in there. Now his brother Michael picks it up. It's lost on the skates down behind. Now it clanks off the backside of the cage. and then goes all the way back down. This will be an icing if Michigan can get there first, and loose will. 4:01 on the clock here in period 1.
Yeah, Quinn Hughes put that pass on the money for Nick Pastuov, but unfortunately he was unable to handle it cleanly. I think if he does, that could be a one-on-one scoring opportunity.
So here come the Wolverines for the faceoff in the offensive zone, looking for their second goal of the period. They lead 1-0 over St. Lawrence. Out in the neutral zone, Boca flips it back into the offensive end as Michigan will continue to get an aggressive forecheck that has benefited them so far in this one to get a power play opportunity, which they converted a goal on. Becker and the Pastuovs battling along the right wing boards. White sends a dangerous pass through his own crease for his defense mate, Dylan Wolf. And now it's held in the neutral zone, getting bounced around, and putting it off the boards was Pastuov, now in the neutral zone. And just chipping it on down. Garvey was content to allow the men in red to get a quick change. 3:20 remaining here in period number 1. Boca bounces it off the boards. Becker swings it on down. Norris creeping in there, the first line centerman out there with his attackers, trying to keep it in the offensive end. St. Lawrence still having trouble clearing it out. Holding with it, they send it across. And a big hard hit there by Norris, just bowling over Risto right along the blue line as Michigan continues to just be pesky in the offensive end. But now Risto brings it back out the other way. St. Lawrence looks for a centering pass into the middle, unable to find anything. That one goes ricocheting up and into the glove of Hayden Levine, who catches it out of the air for the faceoff. 2:41 remaining in the first period.
So Michigan leading 1-0 at the moment, but really done a nice job in this game, especially compared to other games as far as possessing the puck, really setting up good offense that's leading to quality shots. This is probably the most complete first period that I think we've seen out of the Wolverines so far this season.
Yeah, it's definitely been the best defensive one that we've seen so far this year.
And I mean, even if you forget about the opponents being played, it is just encouraging to see that they have this level of focus for a team like St. Lawrence. I think that was an issue in some of the other matchups, was maybe overlooking some of the teams they were playing, like Vermont, Waterloo. I don't think they should have given up 4 goals in that game.
No.
The U.S. under-18 team, just games that did not appear that Michigan was ready to play necessarily. But this game, it does look like they are focused from the start right now, and that does provide encouragement going down the road.
As the defensive zone faceoff about to come, some surprising scores. Bowling Green is up 4-0 on Ohio State in the second period of action in that one. It's a big weekend in college hockey because there is the national championship rematch. Duluth and Notre Dame are playing this weekend. As a quick shot taken by the Saints, an opportunity right out in front. And now Lambert leading the rush the other way, quickly clearing it on out. And now St. Lawrence sends it back down. Shots now 9-6 in favor of the Wolverines. Martin trying to get it out, unable to do so. Has to get some help from Morgan, who's pursued down behind his own net. And now he skates out with it, looking to go through the neutral zone, and a quick pass up. Warren, a shot high and over top of Bray, and it rims all the way back around to where Summers was able to pinch up against the boards and send it in as both teams get changes as the puck is in the St. Lawrence end. 2 minutes to go here in the first period. Michigan still leading 1-0. Pass sent across along the boards. Gleekel leads the Saints rush into the offensive end, but Michigan, Johnny on the spot, slowing the pace down, and now Hughes will lead it up the other way, looks for a long stretch pass, trying to connect with Olmstead, went over his stick and went all the way right in on net, and Bray has to freeze it for an offensive zone faceoff upcoming.
Hughes putting that pass once again right on the blue line, on the money. Olmstead this time unable to really possess it, but does get a little bit of a good deflection towards the goal, so leading to an offensive faceoff for the Wolverines here near the end of the first period, a minute 38 left.
A minute 38 for Michigan to try to get a 2-goal edge, and the draw is won by Norris. Sacconi's got it on the right wing, and he was looking for a tap in from Slaker, who just wasn't quite where he needed to be to tap it in. Hughes stifles any Saints rush right around his own blue line, and now he finds Lockwood, who tries to get it to the middle for Norris, and instead it went all the way across for Sliker, who tried to tip it up into the air. Bray had to shoulder it off, but now here comes the Saints the other way. A quick offensive rush and a shot. Nice save by Levine. Speedster right there coming offensively was Keenan Southers. As we hit the 1 minute remaining mark, shots 11-8. We'll see what Michigan can do here in the final seconds of the period. Lockwood skates into the offensive zone right through 3 or 4 Saints, and now he turns on a dime. Leaves an opportunity there for a split second. Pashtuov couldn't quite corral it. Jake Stevens has got it down behind. He turns around and skates to the right with it, now brings it out across the midline. Boca taps it for Luce. And Luce looking for Becker, just couldn't quite connect with him. Pashtuov goes in down. Becker right there, battled for 20 seconds remaining in period. Becker pushed down to his knees, battling, trying to get the puck loose and create an opportunity. 13 seconds to go. It goes to the side, and that's where St. Lawrence is able to get it out. Jankowski and Risto leading it. Pashtuov now chasing it in. 3 seconds, 2. It goes down behind the net, and that will kill off the period. So at the end of 1, our score, Michigan 1, St. Lawrence nothing.
Going into the intermission with a 1-goal lead, Michigan does have to feel pretty good about the way that they were able to play that first period, giving up no goals, scoring 1, and just coming out with some sort of intensity. As Jeremy Parks will now join in for the intermission report, we would again like to thank you for tuning in to 88.3 WCBN-FM Ann Arbor.
The flagship.
How you doing?
What's up, Lucas? That was a fast-paced first period.
It was. I mean, not a lot of stoppages. Only 1 penalty, I think, and not too many pucks out of play. Although one that did go out appeared to hit a fan in the head.
Yeah, the report that we got down from the Children of Yost section from some of our fellow WCBN guys down in there, she was apparently looking down at the phone, took a puck off the temple, and was bleeding pretty badly out there. So
I mean,
wish her the best.
It's coming in hot. That puck is coming in hot, and
always a reminder when you're at hockey, any other sporting event, really, always got to keep your head up if you're not covered by the net.
Head on a swivel.
Yep. And anyways, we wish her the best. But again, a fast-paced period that you would think would favor Michigan, but really, based off what I saw, Lucas, just bad neutral zone, bad defensive zone giveaways for the Wolverines that would keep St. Lawrence in this game with opportunities. Michigan started out the game 6-1 in shots throughout about the first 12 minutes of the period, wound up 11-8 by the end. St. Lawrence really dominated the back half of the first.
I think you're right. It was almost like 2 little halves there inside of the first period, but as you mentioned, very fast pace, and you would expect that to really play to Michigan, a team that does like to really get out and skate, play as fast as they possibly can. But Keenan Southers had a couple nice takes to the net, and Hayden Levine making some very impressive saves as well, keeping this at a 1-0 lead for the Wolverines.
Yeah, and again, I think it's a similar problem to what has cropped up for Michigan throughout the season so far. A byproduct of the way that they play, especially in the back with Quinn Hughes. He just gets a little too offensive every once in a while, gets up into the zone real hot, and then gets stuck up in the boards. And the opposing team, St. Lawrence, give them a good credit for this, knowing to keep him tied up in the boards for as long as they possibly can without drawing the penalty whistle to make sure that he can't get back on that back check. And that really did them some favors as they had a couple of 1-to-1 opportunities coming down the ice and forced Hayden Levine to make some good saves. A couple of rebound opportunities off those as well. And just plaguing Michigan again, the bad passes and getting caught up too far in the offensive zone for their own good. But luckily they did scrape out that 1 goal in the first couple of minutes at 2:04 in the first period, so 17:56 on the clock. It was Jake Slaker right in front on a rebound off of a Josh Norris attempt. So credit Norris and Ciccone on the assists, and that is the difference maker right now as we're 1-0.
Yeah, each team did have scoring opportunities outside of the 1 goal that Michigan was able to score. Definitely more opportunities left on the table, but you know, this was probably the first time that I've seen this season that Michigan really did a good job at least setting up themselves for good offensive shots. You know, there are other games maybe where they've had more shots on goal, but I think this is probably one of the first periods that they've had the best shots on goal.
And again, the one Michigan goal coming on the man advantage. So the one thing you cannot do against this Wolverines team is let that power play loose, and Michigan made them pay 1 for 1. That's really the big difference maker at the end of the first period. Like you said, it was 2 halves really that kind of culminate in a pretty even game coming into the end of the first 20 minutes here. Michigan just lucky enough to get the 1 power play, but like we said, a very clean game so far from both sides.
And Michigan also doing a great job staying out of the penalty box, an area that we know and most likely they know that they struggle in is the penalty kill. And they didn't put themselves in that man-down position, so that just helps them as far as controlling the game and at least giving themselves a chance with even matchups across the board.
And I think if you're St. Lawrence in the locker room, you just have to let the guys know they played a good game. They are outclassed in terms of overall skill. I think that's pretty evident based off of the first period, but they did a really good job at eliminating Michigan going. They're already up considerably a man advantage in terms of skills. So as soon as they give up a man physically, it's going to bode poorly for them throughout the rest of the night. So just let the guys know that they played a good first period, that they only gave up 1 goal to a very high-powered offense, and they're right into this game headed after the first 20.
Exactly, and one of the things that you alluded to was their ability to kind of jam Quinn Hughes and hold him back from falling into defensive transition, really putting Michigan only having the ability to drop 1 defender back at times. And if they can keep doing that, then they can create good scoring chances. They have shown a little bit of speed. They're being able to push the puck. I think it's when they're forced to really set up 5-on-5 offense. That's when St. Lawrence really struggles.
And they did force Michigan into a couple mixed lines defensively throughout the first period as well, getting a pair of lefties stuck out there together with Hughes and Luce, and that never goes very well for Michigan so far this year. So again, a good job by St. Lawrence. They read the game plan well. They kept Michigan to just the 1 goal, but looking at the line work again, it was most of the production coming up off the top line, which is what you would expect, but still some of these backline players struggling to really break through. Dakota Raby had one-on-one opportunity for that Raby, Van Wy, and Olmsted line. Didn't see a lot of Olmsted throughout the first period. Van Wy mostly on the faceoffs. But some of these backline players, Lucas, you got to think really need to start getting their name out in there.
Right, the depth is going to be a real issue come January, February especially, and this is young depth too. It's not experienced depth at all. A lot of freshman guys, especially on the offensive side, and those are guys that need to get themselves ice time to be ready to play against Big Ten opponents. If you're not ready to play against St. Lawrence, then are you really going to be ready to play against the Minnesotas, the Wisconsins, the Ohio States, Notre Dames in conference play?
And an opponent that Michigan really needs to be beating. A team that is expected to be one of the favorites in the national championship contention for that Frozen Four spot. Really not looking like it through the first 4 games and a couple exhibitions, but right now I think in the first period, the first 10 minutes is exactly the team that people would put their money on to make it to that Frozen Four. And I don't know what happened over the back 10. I was trying to figure it out as we were sitting here coming into the intermission show, but I think it just seemed like they maybe rested back on their laurels just a little bit, enough to let St. Lawrence right back in there. But I think more credit, based off what I could see, should be given to St. Lawrence over Michigan kind of letting go. I think St. Lawrence really turned on the Jets. We'll see how they come out of the locker room, but good job to them to not get down after the 1-0.
And an issue all season long, I think, for Michigan has just been their ability to really focus during some of these non-conference games that they are taking for granted. Vermont, Waterloo, the U.S. Under-18 team, St. Lawrence. Those aren't.
Given the U.S. Under-18 team
is pretty talented.
Just about destroyed everybody that they play.
Yes,
they are very good.
But all those games, it just does not seem like the team has really come out ready to play, ready to respect their opponent at the level they might respect a Big Ten opponent at. And I think that
maybe part of that is youth. Again, like you said, a lot of young guys in the locker room right now for Michigan. But
you're right. No, I definitely think that does play a part into it. But that's something that has to be corrected. It's a habit that has to be broken. Every time you take the ice, Michigan needs to understand the expectations on their shoulders that they've also got on themselves, that they need to really come out focused and ready to go, ready to play for a full 60 minutes.
Just about 7 minutes, 50 seconds until we hit the second period. Don't have a whole lot else on the first period in terms of hockey-wise.
And no kid has thrown their sock yet?
No kid has thrown the sock on the Zamboni. Always something that we look forward to. The shootout for the U12 team that came in here, I believe it was the Belle River Canadiens, coming over the border to come do the shootout tonight. Couple of real good dekers on that U12 team.
It's always some young talent to be scouted from an early age. Lane Kiffin kind of setting the tone with that one.
That Lane Kiffin transition would normally lend itself to a Michigan football talk preview for Saturday, but Michigan can't lose this weekend on the bye week, Lucas.
Hey, you know what? There's no such thing as a bye week. It's a get better week in health and in skill.
Hungry dog runs fastest.
Always something to improve on, JP. You got to look yourself in the mirror, look yourself square in the eyes and say, am I better today than I was yesterday?
And better tomorrow than we were today. What game are you most looking forward to on the college football slate tomorrow?
What game am I most looking forward to? I'm really looking forward to the matchup between the Florida Gators and the Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, this is a rivalry that
pretty easy pick.
It's pretty heralded as far as, you know, intensity of a game goes, but for the last few years, that just has not been a very exciting game.
Mostly on Florida's part.
Mostly on Florida's part, exactly. But Dan Mullen really has the boys in the swamp playing feisty and chomping at the bit. And that's something that's encouraging to really get this rivalry back to the competitive level that it should be. Georgia having a good rushing attack. But this is a game that really could go either way.
I think I'm looking at a little Pac-12 at night over on the West Coast. Washington State, Stanford.
Oh, man.
After Mike Leach
rolled
over the Ducks last week, they brought game day in. They flew the old Crimson, as they do every college game day, except there were about 1 million old Crimsons in the crowd last week, and they got up to a 27-0 lead that they almost blew, but still managed to finish off the very highly touted Oregon program. And
Mike Leach always taking one quarterback that nobody's ever heard of and making him national passing leader as far as statistics go. Gardner Minshew, the candidate this season.
That air raid offense.
He has looked accurate, and for really the first time in a while, Washington State has a real chance to compete here for the Pac-12 championship. And it's really exciting to see Mike Leach also does roll out the swing and gate formation that I just absolutely love. Can't get enough of the
horizontal snaps.
Cannot get enough of the swing and gate formation. They scored a touchdown off of it last week.
Yep.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
And they got a tough test against Stanford tomorrow.
That's right. It's kind of a contrast of styles. Stanford's physicality, meaning Washington State's finesse, but hasn't stopped Mike Leach in the past.
Yeah, see if the Cougars can do it back-to-back weeks. Big Ten action going on tonight, I believe was Minnesota and Indiana going on Friday.
It sounds like a Friday night game.
Little Friday night game. Watched the Toledo Western Michigan game last night. That was a slug out.
I think all
wrapped up about 52-24, I believe.
Iowa and Penn State also engaged in a top 20 matchup this weekend.
That's going to be a game in which the fewest yards combined are scored in college football this weekend.
So, I mean, I don't know how legit Penn State is at number 17, but that is a wide open Big Ten West race.
And East.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
East at this point as well.
You're right.
Michigan does control their own destiny in the East, but
Northwestern also controls their own destiny. They take on the Wisconsin Badgers at home, a site that you and I visited.
Indeed, we did.
This year, earlier.
Last year, yep. Last November. A chilly one at Camp Randall. Had to go to see the jump around.
So
one of the most emblematic games of last season.
I think an underrated game on the college football slate this weekend. Another one would be the South Florida Bulls head into Houston, Texas to take on the Houston Cougars at Oliver.
USF still undefeated?
USF undefeated at 7-0. Houston at 6-1.
They also have, although he can't play right now, they have Eddie McDoom, former Michigan
at South
man.
Florida. Yep. And,
jet sweeps only.
And one-trick pony. Charlie Strong returning to the state of Texas.
Yep.
Ed Oliver, though the big name for Houston.
Highly touted transfer.
No, Oliver is the.
Or wasn't he?
Oliver, he was the 5-star recruit that they signed.
Who am I thinking of that was it Rice had an offensive line tackle?
I think they had Calvin Anderson who transferred to Texas.
That's right.
Actually,
Michigan was
offering, but he ended up at Texas, and they take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys in Stillwater, Oklahoma this weekend in a night game. Always a tough place to play.
Mike Gundy and Pistol Pete.
Mike Gundy, he did not have the mullet earlier this year.
Met a couple of guys last week over at Good Time Charlie's, wrapping up at close. They were up here from Oklahoma for a wedding.
Oh, wow.
Big Oklahoma State folks. Shout out to them.
Well, I mean, luckily for them, I believe Boone Pickens Stadium, this is the first year that they have sold beer there, actually.
That's very rare in college football stadiums.
So joining Texas alongside that, Texas makes
Maryland, I know, does as well.
loads of money selling that.
I believe Maryland is the only one in the Big Ten at the moment.
It is rare. It is rare.
Yep. It's a little dangerous with the student population. You'll probably never see it in the Big House.
Yeah, I doubt it, but Texas does do it at Darrell K.
Yep.
And they make lots of money doing so.
2 minutes remaining until we hit the second period. Biggest adjustment that you could see Mel Pearson making for the Wolverines before they hit the ice here?
Well, they've got to make sure that there's no transition opportunity too good for St. Lawrence. It seemed to be where the Saints really capitalized on good looks, unable to score, but really gave themselves opportunities. And you'd expect the opposite for St. Lawrence, whereas their coach is likely encouraging them, prodding them to really just push the issue and try and get something in a one-on-one situation, because that seems to be the best way that the Saints would score.
And I think Michigan, even in the 5-on-5, did a very nice job of cycling the puck in the offensive zone. They were really comfortable, but at the same time, something you and I have talked about multiple games this season, lackadaisical passing seems to be the MO. They really want the big breakout play, the nice long cross-ice pass, but the little tic-tac where they build it up, nice play, that I think is what Michigan needs to look for much more so.
They get kind of bored sometimes.
Than the all-star play.
Mm-hmm. And, other things to watch, Quinn Hughes really pushing the puck down the ice at times, see if one of his teammates can capitalize on that.
Both teams retaking the ice. That means it's time to wrap up here on the intermission show. I'm going to hand it back off to Alex Drain here on 88.3 WCBN-FM Ann Arbor, coverage of Michigan men's hockey. Alex Drain coming back. Lucas, go ahead, take it away.
All right, and as JP mentioned, about 35 seconds left in the intermission, second period about to get underway. The Michigan Wolverines currently lead St. Lawrence Saints with a score of 1-0. Shots 11-8 in favor of the Wolverines. And Alex, what are some of the things you might be looking for here in the second period?
Well, we didn't even really talk about this in the first period, but I think that it was a remarkably clean period for Michigan. They didn't take any penalties, and they were never particularly close to it. A penalty kill has still been an issue for this Wolverines team at times, so that's huge. And if they continue to play clean, that'll be a good sign.
No doubt about that. Josh Norris maybe got close one or two times, but you're right. In general, very level-headed play for the Wolverines, and that's something that's going to be of utmost importance, keeping that discipline.
So here we go. Luke Morgan and Southers with the draw. Morgan wins it. And Michigan gets going now. Hughes sends it on deep. No icing as Warren chases in after it. Quick to it is Lambert, and now it goes all the way back down. Michigan chases after it into their own end. No icing. And now it goes back into St. Lawrence end. No icing. It's been just pinballing back and forth between the two ends. No real sustained rush yet. Hughes tries to pinch on the boards, and now it gets out. A potential odd man rush, but it squirts too far, and Saccone gets over to force an icing. 19-19 remaining in the second period.
Yeah, the puck took a little trip around the track there, huh?
Yeah.
Kind of looked like when they opened it, Yost up for open skate.
Yeah, both teams a little jumpy there, just pushing it into each other's ends without sustaining possession. Jake Slaker to take this draw. Up against Southers. He gets kicked out. It's interesting that he's been the one going first so far tonight. Norris steps in there, and it just kind of goes over into the corner. Both sides battling for it. Lockwood will get to it first, and he attempted to find Slaker back door, but a defenseman got his stick in there for the Saints and denies any opportunity. The men in red push it into the Michigan end, where the Wolverines pick it up and will try to get a rush going, but just a sloppy pass there from Summers, not able to find Norris. Michigan does do a good job to take it away in the neutral zone. Slaker with a veteran play. But still not a whole lot of sustained possession for either side as we approach 90 seconds into this second period of action. Michigan leading St. Lawrence 1-0 here at Yost Ice Arena. Norris across the center line, across the blue line, trying to push on in. towards the net. He gets dumped again. He's ended up on his backside 3 or 4 times here tonight.
He'll hit the ice bath for sure.
Michigan with just a long wrister in to the catching glove of Bray, who just sets it for his defenseman. And a takeaway. Michael Pestrov right in the net, all alone, a shot. And he's just unable to convert a mini breakaway off a takeaway in the offensive end. A dangerous giveaway by the Saints. And Pestrov created a chance. Now Becker pinned up against the boards in his own offensive end. Sent up to the point, loose. Tries to go deep for Jack Becker. He's got it and then lost it. Pushed around. And now trying to play it off the boards. Boca, he goes across the midline, now across the blue line, sends it over. Jack Becker. Becker skates on and he takes a shot. It's blocked. And St. Lawrence is able to clear it on out. But Michigan, a couple good chances here so far in the early second period. Puck is laying on the blue line and it gets scooped up by St. Lawrence. An opportunity trying to find Risto with a pass was McGeen. Unable to do so. His shot instead goes off the stick of Levine out of play. So faceoff will be in the Michigan defensive end.
And Michigan having a couple breakaway opportunities. Really nice save by Arthur Bray on the Pastuov mini break. But continuing to try to apply pressure onto the Saints as shots now stand at 13-9 in favor of the Wolverines with 17:28 left in the second period.
As a whole, Michigan's shots have been better categorically than St. Lawrence's, but the Saints have had a couple good opportunities. There was one rush there in the first period. Otherwise, it's been pretty clean. Mel Pearson has to be pleased so far, but he'd like to see his side get some goals here. Raby chases in after the forecheck. And St. Lawrence is able to bring it into the neutral zone and now into the offensive end. Scoops it up, trying to stifle any opportunities. Now Olmstead brings it up the left wing. He's got Van Wy in the middle, but they were just in offside, so play is blown dead. The faceoff will be just outside the St. Lawrence blue line. Is a little bit of jumpiness going on. Dylan Wolf trying to go after Dakota Raby, and the referees had to separate them.
Yeah, I think the first time the refs have really had to get in on anyone so far tonight. Both sides have kept it pretty clean. As you mentioned, just the one penalty so far.
And that came very early in the contest. It was within the first 2 minutes, and then converted Jake Slaker, who pushed in a rebound to give Michigan a lead. They've protected that lead almost 20 full minutes now. Quinn Hughes holds it in his own end. And it's cycled along to Norris. He's looking to use the speed, and then a long stretch pass up for Hughes, who is in front of the rush. Hughes trying to kind of stumbling there as he went along the boards, but he finds Slaker down low. Slaker an opportunity, and it gets tipped around in front. Hughes has got it, gets pushed from behind, but he'll cut to the middle, leaves it for Slaker on the left side. Slaker's shot is blocked by Wolf. Picked up by Norris on the boards for Slaker. Slaker finds Saccone in a quick shot. Oh, high and rising. I think it bounced up into the air. Nice save by Bray, but Slaker's still got an opportunity. Finds a man. Opportunity for Lambert. His shot just goes wide of an open net, but just unable to thread the needle. But Michigan putting a couple good chances in, and now an opportunity for St. Lawrence. Southers and several guys, and a quick shot. That one is blocked down. Michigan was in the midst of a change, and now there's a potential rush the other way. Warren down the left wing. He's got Summers as a trailer instead. He just tries it himself from a short angle side, puts the shot high and up off the shoulder of Bray, and now picked up down low by Michigan, and a chance out in front, a wraparound by Nolan Moyle, fended away up into the netting. It'll stay, I believe, in the offensive end for the Wolverines, but a couple good chances there for Michigan and one for St. Lawrence.
Yeah, Moyle, a nice take. He's starting to see the ice here in the second period, but this has really turned into an up and down game, and you'd think that might benefit Michigan a little bit more, but St. Lawrence so far has responded rather well, catching Michigan a couple times in their substitution.
And the Wolverines not quite able to keep the draw in the offensive end. Bray has to go out behind his net to stop it from rimming all the way around the back boards, as now the Saints bring it up the other direction into the corner, tipped up in the air and battled for down low. 4 or 5 bodies trying to dig it out of the Michigan end, and now Moyle will chase it up along the left wing boards. battled for, and now the puck put off the boards in the neutral zone by Martin. Martin continues to hold on, and he'll skate on up, puts it just past the Saints defender, Bo Hansen, and a quick wraparound opportunity for Martin. Fended away by Bray, but a nice takeaway, and a quick shot by Pastuov is deflected up and out of play. The Pastuov brothers have been active tonight.
Yeah, very active, each having multiple chances, I think, with good shots, and that line really has been a very, very productive group. Those two alongside Jack Becker. That's a group that could really, really be solid during the Big Ten play, just from what you've seen early on this season.
So shots now 15-9 in favor of Michigan, 14:51 to go in period 2. We have our first stoppage of the second period of action. Michigan continuing to lead St. Lawrence 1-0. First period, the shots were 11-8 Michigan, 4-1 Michigan in the second period.
And it is the good old hockey game song. Always gets the fans singing along here at Yost. Very, very consistent tradition as far as the hockey game day atmosphere, and all the fans are very bought into it.
General admission crowd has started to fill in a bit more.
Yeah, pretty solid crowd for a Friday night.
A little loose earlier in the game, but now they've started to get in there. So it'll be Nick Pastuov to take the draw up against David Jankowski, third-line center for St. Lawrence. Pushed down into the corner right off the draw, where Becker will dig away at it, and getting pushed down to the ice from behind is Lockwood. Penalty upcoming to St. Lawrence. Michigan will have their second power play. It's going to be either a cross-check or boarding, as there was a hard hit applied to Will Lockwood's back.
And so that's a real opportunity for Michigan, already having success tonight on the power play. Really solid, as we've mentioned several times on this broadcast all season long in the power play. This really gives the talent on Michigan a chance to burst through, and with a line that includes Josh Norris and Will Lockwood, this should be a prime scoring opportunity.
And it's going to be the same guy, Dylan Wolf, for the same offense, cross-checking. He's now got 2 cross-checking penalties in this game. The first one led to a Michigan goal. We'll see what this one can produce. Oh, Hughes and Ciccone just misread each other, and Hughes' back pass was for where Ciccone used to be, not where Ciccone was, and it goes out. But Michigan quickly to it, and Hughes brings it in so quickly, sends it across ice for Slaker, looks for Hughes, who curls to the left, and then he'll send it across for Joe Ciccone. He finds Hughes down in the left corner to Ciccone at the point. He waits a shot. Oh, tipped and just wide of the net. Will Lockwood scoops it up. Curling with it, pass across. Norris drives his shot. Hughes drives a shot right into a body, and there's an injury down for a quick second. Slaker an opportunity. One Saint is still shaken up, not moving really well. Michigan's going to have an opportunity. It is Ryan Garvey, the one that's just kind of standing in the middle. Hughes down low looking for Slaker. An opportunity. Will Lockwood in front. Puck is there, but they just couldn't put it in. A couple great opportunities. Hughes sends it across so quick. A rocket pass to Norris. Norris has got it. He finds Slaker. They cross paths. Slaker goes down low. Norris right out in front. Battled for. It's tipped up into the air and off the back side of the net. 13:25 remaining in the period. 40 seconds remaining in the power play. A lot of good chances for Michigan. Slaker, that one centered for Lockwood, and it got tipped, and now the Saints finally clear it on down after about 90 seconds of opportunities for Michigan. In the neutral zone, taken away by the Saints, and they're going to try to kill off these last 25 seconds. Boca applies a hard check to St. Lawrence. Saints offsides. They have to get back on. 18 seconds remaining for Michigan. We'll see if they can't get one last rush or a really productive power play, just unable to get that goal. Pastuov in down after it. He pokes it down for Boca, who does a nice job of pinching up to create a potential opportunity. Pastuov brothers battling for it as the Saints try to clear it around. Loose is not able to quite get there, and so out they come the other direction. The Saints kill it off as Keenan Suthers goes in on the forecheck. They try to get fresh legs out there. 12:28 remaining in period 2. 18 shots to 9 in favor of Michigan. And now a pass to the center for Pastuov. No chance there. Suthers takes it away, and out they go into the neutral zone. Battled for. Becker looks at it. He had to wait to get on sides, and now the Saints control. Michigan in the midst of a change. Both these sides adjusting to getting back to even strength. Now coming into the middle is Jankowski, a quick shot. Nice blocker save there by Levine. Down behind, continuing to be battled for along the boards. Tipped down below, held there by the Saints. They leave it behind once again, and now we got a whistle blowing. Not sure what the call is going to be. We might have a penalty coming. Looks like it's going to be Brendan Warren headed to the box.
So now each team with a penalty here in the second period. Michigan got really nice puck movement, really nice looks out of their power play opportunity, unable to convert, but the penalty kill, a real weakness for the Wolverines. This is St. Lawrence, a real opportunity to capitalize and equalize this game.
11:44 remaining in period number 2. It's going to be Garrett Van Wyk as the first penalty kill unit, and he has a contested draw that pops up into the air, held in at the blue line by the Saints attackers. Raby tries to clear it out, can't quite do so, and a puck and an opportunity in the middle. A shot gets deflected wide of the net. Laidley is down there, battled for. Now the puck comes right out in front. They battle around. It's loose in front of the net, trying to clear it out. Stevens holds it in at the point for the Saints. Sends it down front, looking for Jankowski. Couldn't quite get a tip, and now Michigan gets Johnny on the spot, and they clear it on down.
Yes, some youngsters in there doing a good job on the first wave.
Full change for Michigan as we approach the midway point of the game. 11 minutes remaining in period 2, 1:17 to go on the penalty to Brendan Warren. Back into the zone. Slaker clears it on out. Now an opportunity. Here comes Slaker the other way. It's a race to the puck. He's first to get it. Crosses across, and a great save by Bray. A mini breakaway as Slaker was first to the loose puck. He went forehand to backhand, just couldn't put it up over the glove. Bray's now come up big on a couple mini uncontested opportunities for Michigan as the puck is battled for in the corner. 48 seconds remaining in the power play. They jam away at it. It's on the side of the net. Hughes picks it up. He sends it across the boards. It ricochets, but held in there. And now St. Lawrence trying to get set up. They take a shot blocked by Ciccone. Got his body in the way. Slaker watching, also trying to block. Bohansen and Risto are up by the blue line. Ciccone tries to dig it out as it goes into the corner, battling Risto and Gilmore down there. And now it goes all the way to the right point where Hansen's got it and then lost it. Michigan with another opportunity. Here they go. Lockwood and Slaker 2-on-1. Lockwood, toe drag, lost the puck. 8 seconds to go on the power play for the Saints. They bring it across the blue line, and a big hit applied there by Lockwood. That gets the cheer of the crowd, but now an opportunity for St. Lawrence, and a shot deflected high up and over the netting. And now we got a whistle sounding. 9:40 remaining in period 2. We're not sure where the faceoff's going to be. It's going to be in, looks like, the St. Lawrence end.
Well, killing the penalty is big for Michigan, but also really, really aggressive and able to create a couple scoring chances for themselves. Once again, unable to convert. Arthur Bray has had a really nice game. I mean, he gave up that one goal early on in the game, but even that was in a pile.
Yeah.
So that wasn't completely his fault, but outside of that, I mean, he has actually been really, really, really strong for the Saints so far in this game.
He's done a good job of bailing out his defense, who in that power play left him out to dry a couple times. Some good looks for Slaker and Lockwood, and that's the advantage of having speed on your as we've got the flex cam going on. Some kids really into it.
And Levine has done a good job as well, but he just hasn't had nearly the same difficulty of shots faced as Bray has. So just real credit to Bray for keeping St. Lawrence in this game right now. Still a 1-0 Michigan lead with 9:40 left in the second period. Once again, I'd like to thank you for listening to 88.3 WCBN-FM Ann Arbor coverage of Michigan hockey, and it appears that Michigan will now go on the power play as Ted McGean will head to the penalty box for St. Lawrence.
Warren's penalty was an elbow call. We haven't gotten the official word on what McGean is in the box for, but that last power play for the Wolverines looked so strong, just unable to convert. We'll see if they can do it there. Boca dishes it over for Mike Pastuov, who sends it down to his brother. Pastuov's play connect, and then trying to find Becker down in the net front, unable to hit the tape. Boca across to Mike Pastuov, who is on the left side. Little dazzling Nick Pastuov on the backside. He gets elbowed hard and knocked down to the ice. And now puck comes across, a quick shot by Jimmy Lambert. Goes off Bray and out of play, so the faceoff will stay in the offensive end for Michigan. 25 seconds gone in the power play.
And some more really, really good looks. Jack Becker posting up in front of the net, almost had an opportunity to tip one in. Jimmy Lambert, strong shot a little too high. And Pastuhov, a little razzle-dazzle in there, but just a little bit too much.
9:15 remaining in period 2. Norris to take the draw, and he is a little too early. He'll get kicked out. Now Slaker will come in. Those two have been trading off and on in the faceoff dot. 1:35 to go in the power play. 9:15 in the period. Slaker wins it. Sacconi's going to skate right up and take a quick high and rising shot over top the net, but Slaker scoops up the rebound and dishes it out to Hughes, who will trade places with Slaker. Slaker waits, and now they'll go back the other direction. Just holding it along the boards, and Hughes was not able to keep it in at the line. It hopped over his stick, and Michigan we whistled for an offside. 1:16 to go in the power play. Shots 19-11 in favor of Michigan.
And 8:56 left in this second period. St. Lawrence holding off 19 Michigan shots so far in this game.
And Nick Pastuov is able to win that draw. Boca's got it. And he was unable to get past the midline. It's a nice aggressive forecheck there from the Saints. Southers leading the penalty kill squad. Bouncing it off the boards there was Lambert. They go down into the corner. The Pastuovs and Becker battle. A couple of Saints, Wolf and Southers. Becker wraparound try. Puck comes free. Loose in front. They battle away at it. And it's not underneath anybody because they haven't blown it dead. Now an opportunity, a shot. Pastuov in front. Another one. And they score. Mike Pastuov. Nick took the shot, and then a rebound loose in the crease. And the second goal of the game is in the same way, cleaning up the rebounds. This time, Mike Pastuov converts. And Michigan is up 2-0.
A broken stick on the ice. Arthur Bray doing all he can, but just too many rebounds and too many scrambles. And that line cashes in once again. That line has just been so productive so far for the Wolverines and getting the job done once again on the power play. 2 Michigan goals on 2 power play, 2 for 3 on the power play tonight.
Well, we'll mark it down as Pastuov's second of the season in 4 games played. Very productive start to the year, and I believe it'll be an assist given to his brother Nick, who that would be his 5th point in 4 games. So quick start to the year for that second line group, showing a lot of promise. We'll wait for the official word as play has resumed. 8 minutes to go in the second period. Michigan with the 2-0 lead over St. Lawrence. The Saints bring it in. McGean and Martin, Summers all back down in the corner. Raby chasing after it and a quick shot. That one blocked in front of the net. And Olmstead trying to battle for it. Still contested in front of the Michigan net. A lot of jostling, and now Michigan finally gets it into the neutral zone. Van White chips it on deep. As we get the official announcement, Michael Pastuov, a sophomore from Bradenton, Florida, gets credit for the goal. It's scored at 11:46 of the second period. Assists from Nick Pastuov and Jimmy Lambert, which is Jimmy Lambert's first ever college point, so an exciting milestone for him, getting the assist on the goal. 7:02 remaining in the period. A quick shot from the Saints into the chest of Levine. That's only his 13th save of the game, but he's very content to having not done a whole lot tonight.
Always a good day for a goalie when they don't have too much work to handle, and when most of the shots they are facing aren't high stress. I think he had that one rush in the first period that resulted in 3 back-to-back-to-back shots, but since then has been a relatively quiet night at the office so far for Hayden Levine with 6:58 left in second period, which is different than all the previous games Michigan has played so far this year.
Norris unable to win the draw. Cam White with a quick shot. And it goes wide of the net. Michigan gets right to it, and now into the offensive zone they go. But Lockwood was in offside, so Michigan had to step back from that potential forecheck opportunity as it is filtered into the neutral zone. Lockwood picks it up, passes it across to Hughes. Hughes sends it deep and was looking for Slaker. Nobody there, and White is first to it for an icing. 6:33 remaining. Shots 22-13 in favor of the Wolverines. It was, I believe, 11-8 in the first period. Yep, so 11-4 or 11-5 now here in the second period. As the draw will come to the left of Levine. Still that top line out there. Norris wins the draw. He's been good in the faceoff circle today when he's not been getting kicked out. Hughes looked for Ciccone and goes all the way up. Here's Slaker bringing it in on the offensive rush. Bounced off a stick, and now Hughes scoops it up. He's got an opportunity. Skates right in on net. Quick shot. Oh, and a nice save by Bray, who goes down into the splits.
Yeah, very athletic save for Bray, and Hughes kind of finding a fortunate bounce and having to see awareness to go straight to the net. Nobody really accounting for him immediately, but doing his job to the best that he can.
We see the replay up on the board of the Pastujov goal, putting Michigan ahead 2-0 here in this one at 11:46 of the second period. Both goals tonight, power play goals from Slaker and Pastujov. Luke Morgan unable to win the draw, and the Saints quickly clear it out into the neutral zone. Here they come the other direction. Boca into his own defensive end, pinned up against the boards in the corner, and that one flipped by the Saints up into the air. They say it was deflected off of Warren's stick, so the faceoff will stay in the Michigan defensive end.
And yeah, that goal, I mean, it just shows the real strength of this Michigan team is going to be on the power play this season. And, I mean, it just kind of goes without saying, they do have the talent to really score goals this year. It's encouraging to see their top two lines really productive early on.
And especially with a lot of uncertainty in losing Danks, Marone, and Calderon, but some guys have stepped up so far. As we just passed the 6-minute remaining mark in the second period, Boca's got it behind his own net, skates out to the left, and then passes it on down. Warren and Moyle in after it. Moyle looked to center it, but unable to do so. As the children of Yost jumping up and down and yelling about something. And now an opportunity for Michigan. High rising shot. It's loose in front of the net. Oh boy, Morgan had an empty net to poke it into, but getting to it before him was a St. Lawrence defender, Jake Stevens, who cleared it on out. And now it goes back down the other direction. Not going to be enough for an icing. Boca goes after it. That was almost a 3-0 lead on a weird high rising shot that got past Bray. Now in the neutral zone, here come the Saints the other direction. A 3-on-3 rush. Trying to center it there was Cusinado. Unable to find his man, and now flipped up into the air. It bounces down onto the ice right by the big block M. Wolf across the midline, puts it on down. Levine went out to touch it, unable to quite do so. And now the pass drops with an opportunity. Nix along the right wing side tried to center it to Becker, and now they both kind of clank into each other. Not able to create a concerted rush. Martin grabs it down. Might have been a hand pass there. 4:46 remaining in the second period.
Yeah, hand pass, or unless they call it offsides, but either way, it will be taken out of the Michigan offensive zone, rather.
We've got the Jacks game going on here,
which has never broken a bone. Wow. Well,
Jack,
I've broken a few bones.
I have too. I would assume Jack's in this game. They're asking the other teammates which Jack is the correct answer to the questions.
I've broken each of my arms and one of my wrists.
Oh, here, that's what they're laughing about. That Ohio State score was 4-0 earlier. Now it is 7-0 to Bowling Green. Jeez. Ohio State, a top 5 team with such a good defense and an elite goalie in Sean Romeo. Not sure what's happening tonight in Columbus.
It's another team we saw in the Frozen Four last year.
Yep.
In St. Paul.
And this is their year, because Ohio State returned basically everybody, and their whole team is seniors. If there is a year for them to win the national title, it's this year. A lot of veteran guys. I picked them, I believe, as my favorite to win the Big Ten, but we'll see. A lot of time, a lot of good teams in the conference.
Team that got blitzed by Minnesota Duluth in their semifinal game.
Yeah, that game really evened out once it got going, but they just could never make up that deficit. Back out of the timeout. St. Lawrence has got it in the offensive zone. Swung on behind. A good check is applied there. Ederer on Martin, but unable to pry the puck, and now Luke Martin's got it. He banks it off the boards for Slaker, who's in onside. Opportunity using that speed, lost control of the puck, and just couldn't tuck it in. And now Martin, a quick shot. That one deflects in front of the net. Unable, and Lambert sends it across to Summers, to Martin. Martin holds with it and goes deep for Slaker. Lambert's got it. Norris battled for. And then flipped up into the air, out of play, and we have a whistle. 3:41 remaining in period 2. Our shots 24-12 in favor of Michigan. Wolverines been knocking on the door of that third goal, haven't been able to get it yet. Face-off will come in the middle.
And several breakaway opportunities that have either resulted in loss of control or just good saves by Arthur Bray. This could easily be a 4-0 game right now.
Right off the face-off, it deflects into the bench, and they'll just put it right back in the middle, and that's where we will take the face-off once again. 3:34 remaining in period 2. Michigan 2, St. Lawrence 0. And the draw won by Luke Morgan. Looking for Hughes right off the draw was Ciccone. And Hughes had to collect it off the boards. Now he'll find Warren on the left wing side, this third line out there for the Wolverines. And nice job to stifle any potential rush. And here come the Saints the other way. The men in red turn around with it. A centering pass, not able to find Southers. And taking it away was Lockwood. And it's like a bit of a miscommunication between Hughes and Morgan, who was supposed to get the puck. Allows Southers to bring it back into the offensive end. But now battled for. The referee is in the middle of where both teams are trying to dig the puck out, and the crowd was getting a little riled up. Under 3 minutes to go in the period. Hughes has got it. Now across the blue line, and that one's taken away from him, but he slows it down and tries to stop any rush for the Saints. Tipped up into the air. Ciccone grabs it out with his glove, puts it down on his stick. Hughes sends it up a stretch pass, looking for Raby, and it deflects off Alfberg's stick and out of play. So the face-off, I think, will be in the defensive zone. We'll see. It might come out to the blue line, and it's going to be, I think, in the middle.
Yeah, it looks like they'll just have it right there at center ice. Hockey, though, referees have nowhere to hide, nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Trapped in the glass.
Right in the middle of the action. Like when you see the umpire in baseball get beamed by the throw down to second. 2:30 remaining in this second period. Garrett Van Wy in the fourth line is out there. Van Wy brings it in on sides, barely in on sides, and a centering pass for Olmstead. Not able to tap it in the back door. Down in the corner. Conglomeration of folks. Loose sends it on in, skips up into the glove. And now some jostling there between Van Wy and Cam White. 2:12 remaining in this second period. Shot still 24-12.
And about 5 minutes left until 9 o'clock p.m. Just want to remind everybody listening to this game right now that our on-air coverage will end at 9 p.m. So if you would like to continue listening to this game, to continue listening on WCBNsports.org or via YouTube, you can hear the rest of the game through our website stream.
So down along the boards is Becker. Off this face-off, Becker swings around behind Bray in the St. Lawrence net. Giving him some help was Warren to dig it out. He continues to hang on to it as it's along the boards. Boca pinches up, and Boca's going to go right in front of the net. Wraparound try, shot! Oh, and a great opportunity for Jack Becker. Had a great chance produced by Boca, who fed him in front. Just unable to bang it home. Now the Pastuovs and Becker in front of the Michigan bench trying to dig it free as Luce goes in after it. He just pokes it around the boards looking for the other passed you off, Michael. McIntyre right there. And Luce takes it away, sends it far, stretch pass. Up comes Lockwood trying to get past his defender, who does a great job to just pin him there and stifle any Michigan rush. Saints come out the other direction, approaching 1 minute to go in the period. Quick shot by Laidley goes wide of the net. Still pinned up against those boards, trying to get it free. Boca, Slaker, they're all there, jamming away. Boca's got it. He rims it around the boards, looking for Lockwood, was unable to get to it. It went right in front of the St. Lawrence bench. They're unable to touch it as they're in the middle of the change. Loose to Norris. He brings it just across the blue line into the offensive end. Norris, a quick shot. Oh, just put it wide. It's loose in front of the net. Slaker's got it. Lockwood a shot. Another try. Slaker, Norris in front. Man, they all digging at it. Just unable to put it home. 28 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Norris, probably his best look of the night. Just goes a little high and wide right. But great job. Still applying pressure here with 27 seconds left in the second period. Michigan still keeping their foot on the gas, trying to get more before the end of the period. 27 shots now through this game.
Shots 27-12 in favor of the Wolverines. 28 seconds remaining. Morgan can't win the draw. St. Lawrence going to try to just get this into the next period. That won't do it. It's an icing whistled with 20.3 remaining.
Michigan will head back down for the offensive face-off. A lot of their youngsters on this line. It'll be number 25, Luke Morgan, on the face-off.
He is unable to win it, and St. Lawrence just sends it back down the other way. Can't be an icing because it goes right in on Levine, who just puts it to the side for Summers. He ran into some trouble, so left it behind himself for Martins. 5 seconds remaining in the period. 4-3. Moyle battled along the blue line, and now that sounds the horn. Michigan a dominant period there, out shooting the Saints 16-5. They add another goal and lead 2-0 after 2 periods of play. And now both teams head into the locker room as we have just a couple minutes left here in our on-air broadcast, but we will continue to go on YouTube. Well, Jeremy Parks now on the headset. What did you see in that period?
Well, I think Michigan, as opposed to the first period, they played a full 20 minutes. Back in the first, it was really half and half. Michigan came out the first 10 minutes firing and then fell off the back 10. I think that was a full 20 minutes, a good, strong 20 minutes from the Wolverines, and they picked back up in the shot tallies, now 27-13 overall. And they picked up one more goal, not for lack of trying. Really good effort on the power play. Probably should have had 2 power play goals in that period, but they had a lot of good looks, just struggling to convert on some good opportunities. This could very easily be a 5-0 game right now.
Yeah, power plays have looked good for Michigan. Their 1 penalty kill was fine. They had 2 shorthanded opportunities on that. I think it's through 40 minutes, this has been by far the most complete effort Michigan has had this year.
Yeah, and still, that's even with them missing about 10 minutes, like I said, back in the first period. So I think they came out of the locker room knowing that they fell off in that back half, and they played with a lot more energy. They played upbeat. They are, as we talked about in the last intermission show, they're the faster team. They're the more skilled team. They really let that out for a full period back here in the second. So I think St. Lawrence heading back to the locker room, still knowing that they're very well in the game. They're very lucky to be at 2-0. Really great goalie work for them so far tonight that's kept them in this game. But Michigan's going to continue to come out firing in the third, and if St. Lawrence wants to put something together, they need to continue to disrupt passing lanes for Michigan, and they need to start beating the Michigan back check to get some open opportunities on net.
Well, it just seems like a slower pace that Michigan is playing with compared to some of their other games where they were just really frantic and helter-skelter in their pace. Slowed down and more reserved. Not as many chances per se, but also not giving up nearly as anything. And now in the final minute we have in our honor, we want to thank you for joining us here tonight on FM. And now we are going to give it over to the next programming, but we will continue here on YouTube.
You've been listening to coverage of Michigan men's hockey on 88.3 WCBN-FM Ann Arbor and the Michigan Student Hockey Radio Network. Again, big thanks to Sergio Villasenor in studio, and we will hand it off in FM back to the airwaves. We'll continue on youtube.com/WCBN Sports. Good night and go blue. Ooh, a nice goal there, Drain, in the the U10 game.
The youth scrimmage going on here in the second intermission.
That was a nice backhand coming back across right to left. You like to see that.
Got a couple kids jostling there, roughing it up.
I think something that Lucas and I had talked about in the last intermission as well was seeing more of a complete performance from some of the back lines. I really think that top line for Michigan performing at a high level, but some of these names that you haven't heard quite as much this year really getting in there and giving a good effort. Luke Morgan had a lot of ice time there in the second, along with Nolan Moyle, who's a name that is really working to get some more ice time there on the third line, performed well on that right wing position. And I think back on the back end of things as well, Quinn Hughes a little bit more conservative, which always tends to help Michigan defensively. Didn't charge up the ice quite as much as he did in the first period, and I think you saw that reflected in the shot total for St. Lawrence there. I think they only had 5 shots in the second period overall. So
I think it makes sense to score this season. They need to focus more on defense, and so having Hughes take off is not a bad thing to see.
Yep, they didn't get caught with mixed lines. They did a really good job of keeping everything pretty straight and narrow there in the second period. That was another thing from the first, a couple of split line sessions, and I think they did a good job of playing the game that they wanted to play as opposed to the game that St. Lawrence boxed them into towards the end of the first period. So just 20 more minutes to go, and they will have their second win of the season and advance to 500 hockey.
Again, they will play St. Lawrence again here at Yost tomorrow night. We will have that one as well. Before Michigan heads on the road to take on Lake Superior State next weekend.
Get to take the long road trip.
An in-state rivalry before conference play started. As we mentioned earlier, Ohio State having just a disastrous night against Bowling Green, giving up 7 goals to the Falcons.
A hot second. I'm not sure if coming into the night if they were still ranked, but at one point they were number 20.
They're not a terrible hockey team by any stretch of the imagination, but Ohio State's a top 5 team that's prided itself on its defense, which is why that's such a surprising result.
Yeah. All teams have an off night. I think it'll be interesting to see if they're a 2-game series, which I believe they are again tomorrow night, how they bounce back off a 7-0 loss, at least a 7-0 loss at this point.
Other Big Ten results: Michigan Tech leads Wisconsin 3-1. Michigan State leads Cornell, who's a pretty good team. They lead them 2-1.
That game at Munn? At Cornell.
It looks like it's at Cornell.
Okay.
Penn State leads Princeton 3-2. And then the big one I mentioned earlier in this broadcast, rematch of the national title game, Notre Dame-Duluth going on this weekend.
Yep.
The Irish lead the Bulldogs 2-1 in that one.
Notre Dame every bit as good again this year as they were last. And
they're a system team, and so the players don't always matter as much to the system. Jeff Jackson, one of the greatest coaches in college hockey history, still searching for that first national title at Notre Dame in addition to the 2 he won at Superior in the 90s.
Brings a good program to Compton every year. It'll be a tough draw for Michigan to try and come out on top of the Big Ten here this season.
Well, that'll be a good measuring stick because that's the first Big Ten matchup of the year when the Irish come here to Yost in early November, the 10th and the 11th.
Yeah, just about 2.5 weeks away from that, 3 weeks away from that now. So
2 weeks from today.
Yep. Time moving quickly.
Yeah, the season now starting to get really into the swing of things.
Michigan, I think, along that same line, starting to find their legs together maybe. As you said, I agree this is probably the most complete game that they've played so far this season. I think they're also starting to pick up a little bit more chemistry as they break through that kind of sluggish start. It all goes back to that opener against Vermont. I think you're seeing a lot of young guys trying to communicate with one another, and they're starting to learn where their partners, their line mates are going to be on the ice at a given time, and that's a very important part of any team, as you can imagine. And I think they're starting to finally hit those clicking moments, and it's really showing in terms of their production, as well as we saw in the second period, the defensive effort.
An opponent watch, Lake Superior is down in Alabama tonight taking on Huntsville. They lead 1-0 in that game.
Up and Cummins.
Yeah.
Rocket City, USA, Huntsville, Alabama.
Providence leads Boston U 3-0. That's a very interesting game because those two teams Both high expectations coming into this year, a lot of talent. Northern Michigan leads Bemidji 1-0. Ferris State, another in-state rival, leads Alaska Anchorage 2-0.
Need my Alaska Fairbanks Nanooks update. They're in action tonight up at the Ice Cube.
Have you ever seen the hype videos?
Yes, with the Bears
yeah.
and the fighter jets. And
those are legendary.
they are quite good. I went to a game at Alaska Fairbanks to catch a hockey game. The parking lot, all the parking building, because nobody can make it the length of the campus.
Alaska is playing Minnesota State. And Minnesota State leads 1-0 in that game.
Little Nanooks action. Most Big Ten schools have agriculture programs, Michigan an exception, but Alaska Fairbanks has, I believe it was yaks. They have like yaks and mountain goats is their like agricultural program. I remember you can go out to the preserve on campus and go buy like $900 yak hair scarves.
Just like breeding yaks?
I don't know if they breed them or if they just take care of them, but you can buy everything with like yak hair and all kinds of stuff. Quite interesting, quite stinky. It's like a petting zoo for the great. .6:26 to go here in the second intermission period. We've also got volleyball going on WCBN Sports Channel 2 on YouTube.
That one is knotted up after 2 sets. Michigan took the first.
Going to go to a penultimate fifth.
25-18. Wisconsin took the second, 25-16. It's number 7, the Badgers, against number 12, Michigan.
A big matchup over at Chrysler. You can imagine a few bodies are probably over there tonight as well. Not a full house here at Yost. Not hard to believe with a weaker level opponent here. And a very important game for a very good volleyball team right now.
Yeah, every game is important for volleyball when you play in the Big Ten.
Nick Hornberg and Adam Rich over there on the call for us tonight.
Every team you play is going to be top 25. The Big Ten is just unparalleled in volleyball quality.
As we learned from our own Daniel Thompson, a child of Nebraska. Apparently one of the best volleyball programs there is in Nebraska.
Yeah, Nebraska. They win the national title last year?
I think they've won a lot of years.
Yeah. Daniel's in the building tonight, as he always is.
Working on the stats side of things here. Our young statistician, Daniel Thompson. Won't catch him in the football booth this weekend again, the bye week.
Yep.
Can't lose on a bye.
A number of folks going home. Some of the players have gone home this weekend.
Yep.
Rest up.
Michigan, if they can beat Penn State next week, will assuredly jump into a top 4 position with Alabama and LSU playing one another next week.
Yeah. I'm happy that's a 345 kick.
I always feel weird about 345. I like the night game because I get my whole day. I like the noon game because at least I get the afternoon and the evening. But like 345 kind of screws me over. I get like half a morning and I get about half an evening. By the time we get down there, get all the equipment set up, call the game, leave.
Yeah.
It's one of my least favorite time-wise.
I don't like noon because then, I mean, you're there earlier in the morning. The afternoon games, you can get.
You don't like getting up early.
I don't like getting up early.
I know you don't. I've learned this very well, as I love to get places very early.
Yes.
Mitigate issues. You'll learn, young Padawan.
But
make a cup of coffee. Easy solution. Do you drink coffee, Drain?
Not really.
You might want to start.
I have at various points. I did last week.
You drank a coffee last week.
I did for the Michigan State game.
Milestone moment. Sabres jersey over in the crowd there as well. Another shout out to Daniel Thompson.
I did when we were trapped in the airport too.
Did you?
Because we had woken up at like 4:30 that day. And so
That's exciting news on the softball front as well. They announced the Big Ten ACC Challenge games for the start of the season. We're going to be headed down to Chapel Hill, North Carolina in February. We'll catch up with our old buddy and now Duke graduate student Morris Fabry.
the full schedule should be out soon.
Yeah, pretty shortly here.
Probably within the next week or so.
Yep. Should presume that it'll probably be Tampa that first week of February per usual, and then
the second week would be the North Carolina.
Yep.
Not a lot of good opponents though in that little Big Ten ACC
thing. But I prefer the fact that it's accessible as opposed to California.
Sure. Last year the ACC one was FSU, which was a big matchup.
But no, we can drive North Carolina.
Yeah, I've done that a few times.
Put some miles on the old horse. We're going to be driving out to New Jersey in 2 weeks. Heading out for the Rutgers game.
Quite a trip.
Going for the Rutgers food.
Are you guys leaving Friday morning?
As early as I can pick up the minivan that we rent.
Oh, I forgot you were renting.
6:30 a.m. Nobody needs to put 1,000 miles each way on their car for that trip.
Unless your car was old, but
not worthwhile. No car of any age should need to put miles to. Much more preferable in a rented minivan. But yep, we'll pick that one up at 6:30 Friday morning. We'll get to New Jersey around dinner time. Maybe head into New York for a pastrami sandwich.
We're going to be trapped in the car a long time.
Oh, yeah. I'll be driving straight on through.
Get familiar with the other folks in the car.
That'll be Austin Falco, myself, Daniel Thompson, Nate Sorensen.
Nate went back to Grand Rapids, I believe, this weekend.
Yep.
Or technically Cedar Springs, but.
Yep. All right, that's going to do it for intermission. I'm going to hand it back off to Lucas here for the third period. Don't have to do the call signs anymore. Back to Lucas.
As both teams have now come out onto the ice. 30 seconds remaining here in the intermission. Michigan 2, St. Lawrence 0 as we get started for the third period of action between these two squads.
Well, can Michigan finish? That's the question. You know, can they're playing a team that they're clearly more talented in at home. You know, it's a game that it's designed to be a win on the schedule, and you know, they've put together a goal in each period so far. Can they finish the job? Can they bring it into tomorrow night, feeling good about themselves, and just really take care of business?
Yeah, we'll see. Final 20 minutes of action. Shots 27-13 in favor of Michigan. And it's going to be Norris against Southers. Southers wins the draw. As we are underway here in the third period. We're going to have to see how St. Lawrence tries to generate offense because they're going to need to push the pace and create chances like they really haven't so far in this one. Norris does a nice little move and a chance out in front of the net, but he just put it wide. Ciccone across to Hughes. Hughes back to Ciccone. Those two have been a lot more steady tonight. Hughes hasn't been nearly as aggressive as he's been in the previous games, playing safer, and it's improved Michigan's defense.
It has given Hughes a little bit more freedom.
Norris tapped the puck and then went off for a change. The rest of his line still out there. Lockwood, an opportunity, gets pushed down to his knees, and now a penalty upcoming. The referees blow the whistle as Pickering touched the puck for the Saints. It'll be a fourth Michigan power play. The first three all looked very good. Two of them converted for goals. It's going to be another defenseman to the box, this time Cameron White. The penalties so far, 2 to Wolf, and 1 was a too many men penalty. And it's going to be tripping given to White.
Yeah, easy call there. Lockwood went to the ground.
Pastuov wins that draw. Here comes the Michigan power play, looking for a 3-goal lead. Boca shot, and seeing it was Bray making the stop. And the whistle sounds.
Another save for Bray. He's really had a tough night of work, constant pressure, and the power play certainly not making life easy for him.
And referee got bulldozed by Jack Becker there.
Big boy.
And toe dragging was Lambert. He skates on in. A shot deflected off of Becker's skate. Tried to clear was St. Lawrence. Holding it in at the line was Boca. Pastuov to Boca. One-time shot. Opportunity. Pastuov a chance for the older brother. And then Michael sends it back to the point. Boca across looking for Lambert. Lambert, nice pass. Pastuov, Boca shot. That one's deflected in front. Getting pushed down in front, and we got a whistle. It looked like a hand pass called on St. Lawrence, so the puck will stay in the offensive end. 1:22 still to go in this power play. Michigan already some good chances. Coffin here in the early third period.
And Michigan will sub back in that top line, so prime scoring chance here.
And that one unable to be won, but held in masterfully at the line. Ciccone, they say he played it with a high stick. Batted it out of the air as St. Lawrence was trying to clear, but the referees caught onto that. Face-off will come just outside the blue line. 1:15 to go in the power play. One shot so far on the power play.
18:24 left in this hockey game, at least in regulation.
Norris wins the draw. Hughes has got it. He's going to curl right across the blue line. Here he comes. Leaves it behind for Lockwood. He just keeps it inside the blue line and then quickly just poked back out by Garvey. Going back after it is Ciccone. Halfway done with the power play. Once again looking promising for Michigan. 2 for 3 on their power play so far today. Hughes driving the offense, and he just can't quite connect. Good interception there by the defender. Block it away and then push it back into the Michigan end. The folks in the maize sweaters bring it into the offensive end. Norris goes in after it. Lockwood also right there trying to get it to Ciccone. His shot taken by Slaker as it was blocked. Now Hughes finds Ciccone. Going to get it to Norris. Norris skates on in with it. A shot deflected in front of the net. Went off the skate of Slaker. Hughes just goes around the defenseman, and Hughes' shot high and rising goes over top. And I think they're going to say it's going to stay in for the draw.
Yeah, really nice initial move, but I guess what, did it get tipped, do you think?
I think it got tipped is what they're saying. Didn't look like it to me.
It looked like a golf drive.
Yeah.
Just really got under it and hacked it. But really nice, really fancy skating.
15 seconds to go here in the power play. Michigan's had some chances. Morgan unable to win that draw, and clearing it on down were the Saints. Levine just leaves it there, and 5 seconds left in the power play. This will probably kill it on out, but Michigan, not a bad-looking power play at all. Out of the box is White. Down behind the net, Moyle and Luke Morgan pinned up against the boards by Wolf. Now, it looks like a penalty. It's going to be grabbing, or holding rather, and I think they're going to give it to Wolf, which would just be a brutal night for him. That'd be his 3rd penalty of the game.
He is really arguing with the referees. I mean, slamming the glass and stomping his foot, punching the bench too, throwing a little temper tantrum.
And the children of Yost responded to that. The good news for Wolf, if there is any, is at least he didn't cross-check again. This one will be holding after 2 prior cross-checks, and now a whistle as Jack Becker was over anxious to take that draw. But that means Pastuov will take it, and Pastuov's the natural centerman anyway.
I mean, Michigan is almost like expecting to get kicked out once. Slaker and
that draw is won by Michigan. Can they hold it in at the line? Boca does, but he's going to just chip it on down. We'll see if Michigan can keep it, and they cannot. And then cleared out by Stevens. Levine pushes it behind his own net, leaving it for Boca. This is Michigan's 5th power play of the game, 2 for 4 so far. In they come, Pastuov looking for Lambert. Jimmy Lambert leaves it. for Nick Pastrov. He's going to skate along the wing. Leaves it behind for Michael. Boca finding Lambert. Connects with Nick Pastrov, or Michael in the middle. And then the puck ricochets out. Trying to take a whack at it was Garvey, but he completely missed. Still able to get it out. And both teams get changes. 1:10 remaining in the power play. Shot still 28-13 Michigan. 16 minutes to go in this game. Halfway done with the power play, but they still have an opportunity for a rush with the first power play unit. Ciccone leaves it behind himself for Hughes. Hughes goes right around a couple men. He gets tripped down to the ice. They say it was incidental contact. Norris going to curl with it, take a quick shot, and he missed it. Not sure that was his best play there. Hughes to the middle, and his shot is blocked, and Southers the other way. Out to get it is Levine, and he'll just send it along his own boards. Norris banks it around looking for Ciccone. Ciccone leaves it for Norris. 30 seconds to go. We'll see if Michigan has one more rush remaining on this power play. Norris and Hughes trying to decide who's going to take it. It is going to be Norris, and that one deflected off a few skates and pinballing back out of the zone. Michigan had to wait to get on sides. Now Lockwood brings it up. He's on the right wing boards. He cuts to the middle. Around in front of the net. An opportunity, just didn't get it. On his back was Arthur Bray. He has to get back up. Hughes has got it on the side. Leaves it behind. Lockwood, a drive and a shot. Save there by Bray. Out of the box is St. Lawrence, but Michigan still got the puck in the offensive end. Right in front of the net. Cam White knocks it down, and Bray puts his glove on it. With 14:50 to go, shots, it should be 30. They say 29. I think it's higher than that. We'll see if they correct.
Yeah, well, another power play for Michigan, and no goal, but great pressure applied on Arthur Bray, the St. Lawrence goalie. Michigan has been just tacking it on as far as shots go all night long, now up to 31 officially to just 13 St. Lawrence shots. So just very high disparity between the two goalies as far as workload for tonight.
It's been a very one-sided affair here tonight. Michigan really driving and dominating possession. As we have 14:50 remaining in period 3 and the game. Michigan still leads 2-0. Van Wy to take the draw. Olmstead to his right, Raby to his left, Boca and Luce at the point.
Another one gets kicked out.
Van Wy, another one bites the dust. He gets option to the right, and Olmstead will take the draw instead. And Olmstead is able to win it, trying to find Luce at the point, but nice job by Risto to knock it on out. Again, the question for St. Lawrence with 14.5 to go here in this game is how they will get any offense going, because even if they can keep it at just a 2-goal deficit, that's a deficit and you'll lose. They have not had a whole lot of chances in this game. Only 13 shots to 31 now for Michigan as they finally updated the tally. 14 minutes to go in the game. McGeen looking for Risto in the middle, and Martin quickly takes it away. Martin in after it, and that's going to be an icing. And the faceoff will go all the way back down in the St. Lawrence end. Shots 31-13 in favor of the Wolverines.
And St. Lawrence really starting to look tired. A lot of hands on knees. This has really been a grind of a game for them so far.
Thoroughly outplayed in this one, and they have to find a way to scratch out 2 goals in this third period if they want any chance of actually coming back and winning the game. Quick chance for Morgan in front, not able to find anything. And now Martin at the point has to bring it back out. He chips it on deep. And looks like an icing, I guess. Not sure what that was about. Looked like he was past the midline, but faceoff will come all the way back down into the Michigan end. 13:44 to go.
Yeah, interesting call. But
it'll be Morgan on the draw. Up against Laidley. And it is won by the Wolverines. Summers, the freshman defenseman, is the one skating on out with it. Finds Warren looking for Morgan, and now pushed across by Moyle. Down behind, Warren gets pressed up against the boards. Good hard check, then he ends up on his belly. No penalty as they continue to battle away in that corner. It rims around the boards, and now out to center ice, and it trickles into the Michigan end. 13:15 to go. Summers leaves it behind for Martin, bounces it off the boards. Becker's got it. And he just pokes it into the offensive end where St. Lawrence is going to re-corral White and Stevens playing catch, and now Stevens across the blue line. His shot goes just wide of the net, past the pad of Hayden Levine. Ciccone flips it up into the air. Pashchuov bumps him. And now holding with it is Stevens. Quick toe-to-toe pass up on the attack, but Hughes quickly takes it away. It's back and forth action in the neutral zones right now. Michigan content to sit back and wait for another opportunity to extend their 2-goal advantage as they lead 2-0 in this one. Becker on the forecheck in the corner, trying to take it away from the second line. Garvey and Southers now with it. Southers right through the middle. Nice takeaway. Jack Becker up to Norris. Norris skates in with it, goes around a tired Southers, and now he continues to curl with it, looking for a man out in front. Was trying to find his line mate Slaker, but a good job to get a stick in the way for the Saints. Hughes takes it away, and now a pass across to Lockwood. Norris, he gets bumped down. Hughes falling down to the ice. A couple guys now just biting the dust. Still no penalties. 11:35 remaining. Pickering had it and lost it. Now getting it back for the Saints, and a shot goes wide of the net. Pinching up at the top was Stevens. Stevens, a shot blocked by Slaker. Boca pushes it out. Here they come the other direction. Lockwood trying to pursue. White seals it off, and no further opportunities as Lockwood and White battle on the blue line. Both teams defending their own end well here in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
The clock really ticking right now.
Yeah. Time is the friend of the Wolverines, the enemies of the Saints. Stevens across center ice, and then he chips it on in. The Saints were offsides. They had to recollect, and it allows Griffin Luce to skate up into the neutral zone and put it wide of the net. An opportunity from a bad angle, and it trickled out in front of Bray. Here comes McGean the other direction, goes around Martin. Luce still out there, and he rims it around. And now into the middle, a takeaway and an opportunity now. Falling down was Risto. He's wobbly on his skates. Turning on a dime with it is Bo Hansen. Finds Jankowski, cuts to the middle, does a good job to find McGean, and a shot. Summers in front of the net had trouble finding it, and now Michigan does. This is some of really the best play in their own end by the Wolverines all season as it goes out of play. Face-off in their own end upcoming.
And play going on for quite a few minutes there nonstop, but St. Lawrence just looks absolutely gassed. I mean, no juice in their legs right now. Even when they do try and take it deep into the Michigan zone, they just have no power behind it. Michigan really just skating around them right now.
Morgan wins the draw, and out comes Michigan the other way. Jimmy Lambert was not across center when he tipped it, but it went on net, and Bray put his glove down. And we now have a whistle, 9:57, and we hit stoppage, the under 10, as we see the Wolverines in the NHL graphic. Dylan Larkin, who scored against Florida last week, as the Red Wings finally got their first win of the season. Larkin had a goal and an assist in that one. They're tied 1-1 with the Jets in a second intermission in that one as we update on volleyball. It's now in the third set. Michigan took the first set. Wisconsin took the second. It's 16-14 Badgers in the third. A really competitive game going on as the Wolverines in the NHL now focusing on Jets defenseman Jacob Trouba. Trouba played one season for the Wolverines. A top 10 pick in the NHL draft. He's emerged into a good offensive defenseman for Winnipeg. And there are, of course, a few players on this Michigan team who may be Wolverines in the NHL in the near future. Hughes most notable, but Josh Norris is a first-round draft pick, and he's someone that is going to figure into Ottawa's plans as he was traded to the Senators earlier this year from the Sharks in the Erik Karlsson trade. As now play resumes, and it's out in front of the St. Lawrence N. And the Saints skate out with it. Lambert fell backwards. And in come the men in red in front of the Michigan net, trying to clear it out of the Wolverines, and they do. In the neutral zone, Michigan continues to really dominate and not allow anything past their own blue line, suffocating defense, which is a far cry from the first few games of this season when it was anything but suffocating, porous rather. Approaching 9 minutes to go in the game. Still 2-0 Michigan. There's just been no sign of life at all for the St. Lawrence attack. Shots 32-14 for Michigan as the Wolverines try to dig it out of their own end. Puck redirects right into Hayden Levine's glove for a whistle. 9 minutes exactly to go in this one.
Yeah, and the atmosphere is starting to kind of deteriorate as well. I mean, just really bored, I think, with the puck being tossed back and forth between each side right now.
Michigan getting a change. They're going to bring the first line back out there. It'll be Norris to take the draw, and he's unable to win it. So a chance for Bo Hansen. That one's redirected wide of the net. That was one of the first good opportunities for St. Lawrence in a long while off an offensive zone faceoff, which they haven't had a whole lot of. 8:45 to go in period 3. Lockwood carries it on out past the blue line. Slaker in after it, picked up by Norris, but he was just offsides. 8:39 to go. And that's the issue for St. Lawrence. That little sequence still did kill off 20 seconds, and they just don't have enough time to make a comeback unless they really pick up the pace.
Yeah, I mean, they just have not been able to possess the puck on a consistent basis at all this period, and really not even a semblance of an opportunity for a good look so far. I mean, the first two periods they had a couple, but just nothing at all so far in the third.
Here comes Hughes right off the draw, skating on in, looking for Pastrov. A shot blocked in front of the net. That was a nice little chance. Oh, and a big hit by Michael Pastrov coming up. And that was a fine defensive play, too, because it was a potential odd man rush, and he just ended it right there as his brother Nick gets knocked hard to the ice, and the puck scooped up by the netminder Bray.
With 8:19 left here in the third period, Michigan still just trying to get a couple more.
Yeah, it was Caden Pickering who was trying to bring it out for St. Lawrence. He was almost at the blue line, and there was a lot of open ice in front of him. But up came Pastrov from the blue line, and he turned onto his side.
Kind of looked like that thing kids used to do where one guy would go down on the ground,
yeah,
and another kid would come and push him over the table topping.
Yeah,
it's kind of what it looked like.
Yeah, just stuck the rear out, and then flipping right over him was Pickering. Now in action, and a shot from a bad angle, and Bray vacuums it up into the glove.
Yep. Just staying active all night has been Arthur Bray. Been
He's
very busy.
Faced 33 shots, saved 31 of them as we take a look at Hayden Levine. Fifth on the Jumbotron, 15 saves for him, no goals allowed, looking for his first shutout of the
kind of similar numbers. Well, I guess not for Michigan yet, but it's the Vermont game.
Yeah.
Just different results. I mean, no goals for St. Lawrence. Still 2 goals for Michigan right now, and vastly dominating the shots.
Norris is sort of able to win the draw with help from Slaker to dig it out. Lockwood's got it behind the net. Michigan trying to get that third goal. Lockwood a shot from a bad angle. Whew. Michigan keeps shooting from these strange angles, trying to tuck them in short side, and Bray continues to hold his post well as he hangs on for a face-off. 7:56 to go in period 3. It'll be Norris to take the draw up against Southers, and puck comes free behind the net. Norris in after it, and Slaker went barreling in on net, and it knocked the net off its moorings. I think the faceoff will stay in the offensive end.
Yeah, I mean, I'd expect it to just after that. No one really had firm control of it.
They put it to the left of Bray. And the draw won by the Saints, but a takeaway, and the referee got in the way, and a shot high and over top by Brennan Horn. He could have cut to the middle, but the referee was right in his path.
Zebras, man.
Yeah. In front of the net, Nolan Moyle a shot from a bad angle. They continue to just shoot from very obstructed angles, and a shot, that one goes high and over top. Battled down below Boca. And they continue to fight as the Saints put it all the way back down. That'll be an icing if Luce gets there first, and he does.
Yeah, I mean, St. Lawrence, just no hustle down the other end for some of these chase downs, and they're just having, it's the puck remaining in their zone, no substitutions, and these guys are just getting tired out.
Norris to take the draw against Southers, and it just kind of goes into the side where Slaker and Norris both dig away. Going down hard to the ice was Wolf. Can't quite get it out, and now it pinballs and finally carrying it past the blue line. I mean, St. Lawrence has had to just grind to try to even get the puck out of their own end.
Yeah, well, finally, it's finally a chance to substitute here. I mean, get some new guys on the ice. That line was on there for a while, and they were just absolutely gassed.
Puck into the benches, so I'll have another face-off right in front of the Michigan bench. 7:01 to go in the game. Shots now 35-15 in favor of the Wolverines. Draw is won there, and Summers holds it up to Van Wy, who did a nice job to dangle around a Saint, and Lambert goes in down into the offensive end. Lambert and Raby hit the boards hard. A clear from the Saints goes through the neutral zone down to the defensive end, but not far enough for an icing, and where Martin picks it up, he just banks it off the boards for Dakota Raby, looking for his centerman Van Wy. Now Raby picks it up and pokes it into the offensive end. Lambert applies a good firm check as Rusto is trying to bring it out. Rusto up to Van Wy. Oh, pinball right in front of the net. Lambert had a chance at it, but wasn't looking that direction. Didn't expect that carom off the boards. Van Wy pushes it over to Dakota Raby. Raby looks to try to get it to Martin, but a lazy pass intercepted by Risto, who brings it across the blue line. Sets up Stevens well for an opportunity, but Stevens' cut to the middle is quickly parried away, and Michigan puts it in the other end. It'll be an icing as they can't get off the ice. But 5:56 remaining. Michigan still leads 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's just how fast can the clock tick down. You know, Michigan's just kind of possessing the puck the best they can, trying to run the clock down. St. Lawrence really has nothing left in their tank at this moment. Can't possibly imagine them getting 2 more goals here. Timeout just being used, so a quick chance for the Saints to catch their breath, but this has just been kind of a third period that Michigan's just trying to eat away at and get ready for tomorrow night.
Yep, these two teams will go back at it tomorrow. The Saints will have to think about what method they want to try and pursue to get more opportunities in the contest on Saturday night.
They're going to have to find a way to possess the puck. I mean, just no... And but those were few and far between. They're going to have to find a way to possess the puck and get Michigan out of their zone because clearly just way too much, and the Wolverines really overpowering the Saints tonight. But that said, Arthur Bray has had a really nice game, and if St. Lawrence could find a way to stay out of the penalty box, I mean, we're still talking about a score. We could still be talking about a scoreless game here.
Yeah, he has done a very nice job for them to keep them in this contest. As we get ready for the face-off, it'll be Jankowski up against Norris, and the Saints did win the draw. Quick shot right off the draw, goes wide of the net, and is center and taken away. The Saints pinch down, and now Slaker is out the other direction. He's up against White. He takes a shot right in on Bray into his belly. And we will get a face-off, 5:37 to go.
5:37 to go, puck back in the St. Lawrence zone, so more work for the Saints here, more work for Arthur Bray coming up. It's the Go Blue chants raining through the stadium.
5:37 to go. It'll be Laidley and Norris on the draw. And the Saints do win it and get it out. Risto brings it to center ice, and now chip back in. Here comes Slaker. He's got Norris to the middle. He feeds him. He scored! Beautiful setup. Slaker to Norris, and Norris just taps it home, and Michigan takes the 3-0 lead.
Oh, absolutely beautiful pass by Jake Slaker, and Josh Norris finally getting a payoff for a good night's work. He's taken some big hits. He's also put the puck in some good situations, had a lot of opportunities, and finally able to cash in. The front line scores once again, really productive on the night. And that's got to feel good, too, for a guy like Josh Norris, just to see it hit the back of the net. Guy who's had a lot of opportunities this season. That could really get him going.
Well, now off the draw, Michigan with the 3-0 lead, pretty much have the game on lockdown. There's a chance in front of the net. Pastuov centered and unable to bang it home with the Wolverines, but 3-0 lead.
Yeah, with 5:09 left, that should just about do it here, but obviously still got to finish out this game.
I think getting the shutout would be big.
I think that would be a big boost for the confidence. I think you mentioned it, that Michigan has not given up less than 4 goals all year, and if they are able to hold a shutout and only allow 15 shots at that, that would just be absolutely huge for this team's confidence. And it would just show that they finally came to play and take care of business one night.
Shot by Olmsted went high into the air and then bounced off the netting. 5:06 to go in period 3. You look at the shots by period, it's been better and better each period. Michigan 8 allowed to St. Lawrence in the first, 5 allowed in the second, and just 2 here in period number 3.
That's all conditioning right there.
Yep.
It's Michigan in better shape.
Along the boards, Olmsted trying to keep it in. Goes out to center ice, loose over to Olmsted along the boards, trying to dig it out. And the Saints do. Loose goes in after it in his own defensive end after the Saints had finally attempted to filter in, and now that one goes all the way back down for an icing. 4:29 to go, so they'll have an offensive zone faceoff to try to get something set up, because these last few minutes you can at least try to find some rhythm and confidence. A late goal would be big for St. Lawrence to take into tomorrow night.
Yeah, at least just have something to feel good about going into tomorrow night, and it's gotta be a strong last 4.5 minutes here for the Saints. Otherwise, it could be a repeat tomorrow.
Draw is won by St. Lawrence, and they had a quick shot from the point by Wolf get deflected, and then in the corner, Michigan digs it out, and out comes Nolan Moyle, blocked by Garvey along the boards. Southers pushes it on in. Boca pokes it over to Luce. Luce puts it off the boards, and a big hard check there in the corner, a collision, and I think we're going to have a whistle. Puck will come to center ice. 4:05 remaining. Referees are getting a drink of water as we get ready for the final push here in this one.
Yep, final push here. Michigan should just play some of their probably third and fourth liners as much as they can here. Get them a little bit more experience. You figure the chances for learning are running less and less.
Big Ten football score, Minnesota up 21-9 on Indiana at halftime.
Oh, wow. So that's big for a Minnesota team that just hasn't had much success since their non-conference slate.
Yeah. They still have Illinois on the schedule, but it's going to be tough to get that 5th, 6th win.
Yep.
Action back underway as we approach the 4-minute mark. Pushing it into the defensive end are the Saints. Summers played off the boards out into the neutral zone. And that's where Summers will hold it. Looking at Martin to the side, oh, just past a potential interceptor. Michigan brings it into the offensive end. Lambert down behind, circles around the net, looks, waiting a shot out in front of the net, but being blocked aside. 3:30 remaining. Bo Hansen, defenseman up on the forecheck, and he puts a shot just too high as I guess it was deflected by a Michigan stick into the netting. So 3:26 remaining. Faceoff will come to the side of Levine. Still just 2 shots for the Saints in this period. Michigan 11, 16, 11. Their shot allocation in the 3 periods, pretty balanced. Norris won the draw to Hughes, who brings it on out. He's had a very smooth game. Pass to Lockwood. Lockwood, who is out there with his line mates Slaker and Norris, who connected on that last goal to put Michigan up 3-0, and that's where it stands. Slaker in deep, Hughes picks it up. 3 minutes to go. Just past the midline is where Michigan will chip it in. Norris goes out for a change. Slaker leads the forecheck. Lockwood had it for a second, and then he tripped, fell down. Out come St. Lawrence the other direction. They're in the midst of a change, though, so Stevens is just out there with Southers. Southers tried to pass it up in a give-and-go situation, and a big hard check. Pastuov up against the boards. 2:30 remaining. Luce picks it up, banks it off the boards. Pastuov's with Becker. Becker took a shot. It got blocked, and then he got quickly pushed down by Wolf. And it looks like we're going to have a penalty coming to Boca, perhaps, or maybe it's an offsides. It looks like it's just going to be an offsides. The referee had his hand in the air. It might have been a push, but it'll be a face-off just outside the Michigan end. 2:17 to go.
Michigan makes another line change and about ready to wrap things up here. 2:10 left in the 3rd period.
That one chipped down by the Wolverines. Going in after it is Moyle, but not able to get there. It'll be another icing. Not a whole lot of great looks here in these last few minutes. Michigan content to just kill the clock.
Yep, just a lot of puck trading, pushing it up and down the ice. While here, especially since Michigan's 3rd goal of the night.
3-0. 6 to go in this game, and a quick shot off the draw goes high and over top the net, so it won't count towards the total. Still just 15 for the Saints as there's a scrum in the corner trying to dig it free. Luce and Hansen battling each other. Now Boca picks it out and then gets quickly re-engaged in yet another dog pile. And here they come the other direction. Raby out. He's on a potential 2-on-1 to Morgan in the middle, but just outside his reach. And Bray puts down the gloves, and now Nolan Moyle is pushing in front of the net. There's some jostling. And Moyle in front of the net, and also along the Luke Morgan and Luke Morgan and Warren are the two on the other side. They're in front of the net.
Yeah, well, Moyle especially he has to make sure he doesn't do anything stupid for tomorrow night. I mean, you got another game to play. He's still barking.
The offsetting penalties. The offsetting interference is 4-on-4 to finish out this game. It'll be Gleekle and Moyle, the ones getting the calls. Gleekle, a sophomore from Golden Vale, Minnesota, and Moyle, the freshman from Briarcliff Manor, New York, are put in the box. So the final 138 of this game will be played in 4-on-4 hockey. Michigan now up to 39 shots as they lead 3-0, closing out their second win of the season. The draw won by the Saints. Alsberg skates on out with it, and it pinballs right up to Levine. He just puts his glove down with 1:28 to go. That'll count as shot 16 for St. Lawrence, but the truth is about half their shots have been like that. I mean, not even
a chance of scoring, exactly. Yeah. Just no threat whatsoever, and as you said, just one of easily Hayden Levine's easiest night of the year, no doubt about it. And finally the defense, albeit against a relatively weak opponent, finally showing some sort of promise.
And the draw won by the Wolverines. Summers has got it, and he just gets it across the blue line. And then it gets pushed back into the defensive end. 1:15 to go. Lockwood skates out past the midline. He's always got that speed, and that's why they put him out there in 4-on-4 situations. But he ran in to Stevens, who took the puck away from him. Stevens blocked at the blue line, and now Norris picks it up. 1 minute to go in this contest. Norris cuts to the middle, trying to take a shot. Now he's got it back, but the net is dislodged with 55 seconds to go. As the final seconds will tick away once we restart. Just 54.7 officially to go in this one. And once again, just 3 shots allowed by Michigan in this third period, and that's when St. Lawrence needed to be playing with the most urgency. Just a really impressive defensive performance.
Yeah, no energy from the Saints at all in this third period, and I think some of that can be attributed to a lack of conditioning because these guys just look very, very tired right now.
And St. Lawrence is going to use their timeout to talk. And you know, St. Lawrence is not a good team in any stretch of the imagination. They've only scored 3 goals this season in their 3 games. Michigan had put up in their first few, and just how much they have struggled to defend. This is still a boost of confidence any way you can get it.
Right, and at the very least, it shows that Michigan didn't overlook this opponent.
Yeah.
And didn't sell them short. So it looks they came out ready to go and did what they had to do tonight. And I mean, tomorrow night, you know, you'd expect to see this same kind of performance tomorrow, that they can build on it and really do a good job against the same team that will have to find some sort of way to get a newfound energy within 24 hours.
Yeah, and the Vermont team that Michigan lost to in the first game is not a good team in any way. I mean, they were 10-20 a year ago. So this is a team of pretty similar caliber, and Michigan has really come out much more prepared in this one. Slaker wins the draw. Hughes has got it in the offensive end. 50 seconds remaining in the game. Morgan takes a shot, and it is blocked aside by Bray. That's now shot 40 for Michigan, so 37 saves on 40 shots. Not a bad night for Bray.
Not a bad night at all, and I mean, I said I think he's played pretty well all night, giving up only just 1 full-strength goal, and 2 of the power play goals were really in scrums for the puck.
Yeah,
this guy's been playing pretty sharp hockey. Fortunately, he's just had a lot of shots to face and hasn't had much help from the rest of his team.
Now out into the neutral zone off the draw. Hughes has got it, and he retreats into his own end, passes it across to Ciccone, who finds Morgan. We're still playing 4-on-4 for these last 30 seconds. As the fans have started to file out, knowing victory assured. 25 seconds to go. Ciccone across the blue line, and still battling White. Jankowski takes it away, passes it up to Risto, and Risto runs into some trouble. Hughes centers to Slaker, who just chips it down deep. 5 seconds to go, and the crowd is going to clap as this one is over. Michigan defeats St. Lawrence 3-0. They outshoot them 40-16 by far the most complete effort of the season for the Wolverines, and they take care of business here tonight.
Kind of effort that you expected in a game like this for Michigan, and they delivered on that. Would look to do it again tomorrow night as the schedule is about to really intensify.
Wolverines take just one penalty in this game. They kill it off. St. Lawrence takes 5, give up 2 power play goals. Michigan outshoots them 40-16, 11-8 in the first, 16-5 in the second, and 13-3 in the third. The 3 goals tonight, Jake Slaker followed by Pastuov, those 2 on the power plays, 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and then an even strength third period goal by Josh Norris on the beautiful assist from Jake Slaker. Any last thoughts?
Just that you'd hope to see the defense be able to replicate this as the season goes on. I mean, we expected the defense to be really good this season, and you'd hope that Hayden Levine can have easy nights like this more often.
Yep, and that'll just about do it for us. We will have the broadcast again tomorrow. I will be on the call with Charlie Goodwin. For Jeremy Parks, Lucas Vargas, Alex Drain, good night and go blue.